Chapter 101, Enthusiastic. Wang Dahu, their speed is too fast, each step keeps walking, but one step out of the distance. This is not the distance that one person leaps, but the distance that each soldier leaps at the same time. The figure is like speeding on the ground, but can keep a tidy pace. Today in Xuanwang village, some modern military training methods have been used for daily training. Among them, basic training such as cues and walking are essential, and they are the most suitable for today's situation. The training these days has already begun to bear fruit. Keep the cue intact, even in the midst of a rash. This neat cue, rushing together, is very shocking. Sir, you are back. Wang Dahu came to Yi Tianxing, and his body was still from moment to moment, not only him, but also the team of soldiers behind him. When he walked to stillness, there was no hesitation. Stepping on the ground, there was a neat roar. Move like crazy rabbit, be quiet like a virgin. This is a great shock. Yang Yi and his son saw that their pupils contracted not only for a while. Such a soldier is really too strong, and the speed of running on the ground can be consistent with the war horse in a short time. That power, that explosive power, the power of control, the cohesion, are all extraordinary. Especially the evil spirit on his body is not inferior to Yang Jiazhen. Too strong, such soldiers and such troops are beyond the scope of ordinary people. These people are all monks. Yang Yi was secretly surprised, although Yi Tianxing had said it before, but when he saw it with his own eyes, still feel shocked. I also thought to myself, if all the troops were made up of monks, how strong would the combat power be? Think of it this way, Yang Yi's eyes light up. Such soldiers are stronger than the generals in the Yang family. Yang Yanping murmured to himself. As long as we can cultivate, we will be stronger than them. We Yang family army will definitely not be worse than any army. The generals in Yang family army, while envious, also gave birth to an idea of dissatisfaction. They all think that as long as they get the practice, they may not be worse than the soldiers in front of them. The protagonist actually brought back so many people. I am afraid that there are tens of thousands of people. I brought back a large number of people last time, and now it is a large number. The protagonist is the protagonist. It is really amazing. Just going out for a day can bring with so many people coming back. Our Xuanwang village is about to grow again. This number is not worse than the previous town, or even more. Quote. Wang Dahu looked at the densely populated villagers and people in front of him, and his respect for Yi Tianxing was even stronger. Bringing back so much as soon as I go out is completely heaven-like. My lord, Huang Lao, after seeing the lord's return, has asked the villagers folks in the village to prepare fish soup and broth. Just waiting for the newcomers to take the wind and wash the dust. The tiger was deliberately brought over to meet the lord. Wang Dahu said respectfully, well, my fellow fathers and fathers, here is Xuanwang village. Everyone comes here, then everyone is Xuanwang village people. They are members of Xuanwang village. In the future, everyone's identity will be the same. Now everyone follows me. Together, back to the village. Yi Tianxing opened his mouth to the people around him. Back to the village. Just these two words make ordinary people who are still a little bit stubborn, and their minds are instantly settled. For Xuanwang village, they instantly have a kind of recognition and belonging. The heart hanging in the air settled down naturally. Back to the village, let's go back to the village. Xuanwang village, it will be our real home in the future. Exclamation murmured among many people. Yi Tianxing was ahead, followed by a large number of people, and walked toward Xuanwang village in a mighty manner. Brother, come here, come here. The fish soup has been cooked here. This is a piranha fished from the river. You can't eat it anywhere else. Drink hot soup and warm your body. Sister, come here, the porridge has been boiled here, it is cooked with good rice and animal meat, and it tastes just right now. Drink bowl of porridge and pad your belly, let me tell you. Here we are Xuanwang village, that's really settled down. After eating, those men will help you build houses. Don't be afraid to eat and sleep in the future. Quote. Come on, the barbecue here is ready. Come here and eat it. The barbecue must taste hot. The meat of the beast is much better than other meats. Listen to the doctors. These meats are big. Make up. Quote. The people who came from Yangjia village were stunned by the sight of the village as soon as they entered the village. The various neat buildings inside didn't say, just entering the village alone, was immediately shrouded in the enthusiasm of that village. Without any thought at all, he was pulled directly to the side of the fire, eating fish soup, drinking meat porridge, eating barbecue. The original strangeness disappeared without a trace. The original restraint, under the enthusiasm that came from the face, completely melted and disappeared. For Xuanwang Village's sense of belonging, it instantly came to mind. While eating and talking, the strangeness between each other quickly dissipated, getting along well, getting crying and laughing. In this warm fire, everyone has the same identity with each other, that is, the villagers and the people of Xuanwang Village. Here is their common home. Wang Dahu also brought Yang Yi's father and son and Yang Jiazhen into the barracks. The barracks also prepared broth. After conscious association, I quickly became familiar with it. For soldiers, the most important thing is strength. There is not much inclination in temperament, talking is straightforward, talking to each other, and understanding their respective records. Respect. Yang Jiazhen admired Wang Dahu for their blood and strength, and Wang Dahu admired Yang Jiazhen's fortitude and fearlessness. They naturally became familiar with each other. During the conversation, they burst into laughter from time to time and got along very well. In the mansion, Yi Tianxing and Huang Chengyan are together. The protagonist, the phoenix, appears and does not fall into a land without treasure. Once settled, there must be a treasure in that area. According to legend, the jade seal obtained by Qin Shi was made with the He's queen. You can find it everywhere. The preciousness of He Shijun is an eternal treasure. This time, the phoenix burst into the valley, and there must be a treasure of great importance in the valley. Huang Chengyan said solemnly. I also know the legend that the phoenix does not fall into a land without treasure. However, the place where the phoenix settled is deep in the valley, farther than the Yangjia village I went to before. The place that the valley has not explored must be dangerous. There are so many, even if there are heavy treasures, you cannot go. Instead of focusing on unrealistic fantasies, it is better to run our current Xuanwang village. As long as the village becomes stronger, everything else is naturally possible. Quote, how could Yi Tianxing not know that there is a treasure in Phoenix Landing, but the treasure is precious? For now, it is just zongyuyu and flowers in the water. Might as well focus on your eyes. Oh, Lord, this time you went to Yangjia village, you can say that it was a great harvest. This population of nearly 10,000 people is enough to make up for the biggest shortcoming in our village. If anyone can develop quickly, the village can build faster. When it comes to population, Huang Chengyan couldn't help showing joy, and rubbed his beard with one hand, laughing. The people who have migrated from Yangjia village this time, plus the people I rescued in the ogre camp, now the number of people in our village has exceeded 10,000 and more than 10,000 people. If we put them in the past, even a town may not have so many people. When a person is alone, it is easy to mess, and it is necessary to establish a practical system and various management institutions. Quote, after Yi Tianxing groaned slightly, he said solemnly. It's a good thing to have more people, but it's not necessarily a good thing. So many people gather together for a short period of time, but over time, there will definitely be various problems. Today's world, order, rules, have all collapsed and no longer exist. Now, in this ruin, we need to re-establish the institutions and policies that are suitable for ourselves. Even if it is impossible to become complete and complete at once, it still needs some institutions to manage it. Snakes have no heads. www.novelhall.com. Only with leaders can they exert their power in the same direction, so as not to waste resources and manpower. On the contrary, there is no efficiency. Well, I do want to mention this. The old man also intends to raise this matter. I think it is really necessary to start building the forces that belong to the principal. Opening the government to build the teeth and sort out the military and political affairs. The sooner such things are established, the better. They can form conventions. As long as the framework is set up in advance, they can be extended and supplemented later. Doing more with less. Huang Chengyan showed wisdom in his eyes and said calmly on his face. He already had an idea about this matter. In the past, he had too few staff members, and he could be allowed to develop in the form of an ordinary village. But as soon as one person is born, society is formed, and interpersonal relationships will begin to become complicated. I have thought about the establishment of the system before, but I need to discuss with Huang Lao carefully to establish a simple system in advance. To manage the village. Yi Tianxing also nodded. The reason why human beings can develop can produce a brilliant civilization, and the system is vital. The system can uphold order and regulate people's livelihood. There will be no chaos. In this way, there will be fertile soil for the development of civilization. Otherwise, you can try to develop civilization in the war. To develop, that is a miracle. I don't know the specific idea of the protagonist. Huang Chengyan was very curious about Yi Tianxing's plan and immediately asked. A power should be divided between the army and politics. The army must be a perfect weapon to conquer foreign enemies and protect the people's homeland. The military and government must be separated. They must not interfere with each other. Internal affairs must not involve the army, and the military must not interfere in internal affairs. Of course, this is the last word. Now we have no such concerns at all. But I am going to establish a military aircraft office. Yi Tianxing said. To be continued. Sikushu, Chapter 102, Discuss. At the military plane, Huang Chengyan's eyes flashed. Yes, the military aircraft department. My plan is that all the military belong to the military aircraft department. I will take charge of the military war. Protect the village people. Once established, all of the army soldiers in Xuanwang village will be placed under the military aircraft department for management. Military membership belongs to the military aircraft department. Others can't easily interfere with the operation of the military aircraft department. Yi Tianxing expressed his thoughts. Sovereign, in this way, is the power of the military aircraft department too great? There is nothing right now. After all, our power is still small, but once we grow up in the future, if there is any trouble, there may be big trouble. Huang Chengyan frowned slightly. He is a scholar, and although he is not disgusted by the soldiers, even in this troubled world, he still attaches great importance to it, but he is a bit frightened. Huang Lao, please rest assured that although the power of the military aircraft department is large, there are also restrictions. However, those are the future things. Our current purpose is to first determine the system and set up the various functional mechanisms needed. Others can be corrected slowly in the future. Don't forget, we are monks. As long as we don't die, we can live a long time as long as we can make breakthroughs. There is no need to worry about temporary gains and losses, and there is time to correct the changes. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. In fact, in history, many founding emperors have formulated good systems, but they are flawed. It takes time to verify whether they are good or bad, whether a certain law or policy is correct. This process may take 10, 20, or even tens or hundreds of years to verify, but even if it is later known to be wrong, future generations do not have the courage to change. Because they do not have the kind of arbitrary prestige and courage of the founding emperor. Even if they know that some systems are wrong, they still dare not move. What they want is stability. If it moves, it may cause turmoil. Once turmoil occurs, it will bring more terrible consequences. No one dares to take this danger. There have been many changes in history, but there have been few successes. Moreover, once they fail, they will bring about a decline in national strength and national turmoil. However, if the founding emperor is used to carry out, there will be no turmoil and no troubles will be suppressed. Because they have great prestige, they are even more afraid of killing. Well, in this case, the military aircraft department can determine that the military is in charge. Huang Chengyan heard it, nodded his head, and promised to come down. Today's village construction and weapon building are very important. Our village has carpenters, blacksmiths, and even talents in various buildings. They can all gather together to set up a heavenly pavilion to absorb all kinds of skilled art craftsmen, unified arrangements, so that all human and material resources can be used more effectively. Yi Tianxing once again proposed an idea. It is modern in itself, and the importance of craftsmanship is naturally very clear. Various cutting-edge technologies and crafts can promote the development and growth of the entire civilization. Without various inventions and skills, the civilization of the entire world would never have progressed. Every invention has the potential to promote the development of the entire world and the transformation of civilization. Such as papermaking. Without artisans to develop papermaking, the spread of civilization would not have increased, and the number of readers in the world would not have skyrocketed. This Tiangong pavilion must not only be established, but also vigorously developed. Continuous support. Time goes by in the fierce discussion between Yi Tianxing and Huang Chengyan. Several hours passed, and when the night fell, it was finally determined. Master, now that the population in our village is increasing, the problems of money and currency must be resolved as soon as possible. Otherwise, bartering, or even eating big pots of rice, is not a long-term solution. To grow and grow, coins are essential. Moreover, even if the coin cannot be established immediately, there must be a substitute, such as the Tibetan scripture hall established by the principle, in which the acquisition of exchange points in the Tibetan scripture hall must be determined as soon as possible. Otherwise, there is no with the complete regulations, the Tibetan scripture hall will greatly reduce the attraction of many people, and no one will be able to redeem them for Gongfa combat skills. It also contradicts the original idea of the protagonist. Quote, Huang Chengyan once again raised an already imminent issue. I don't know what Huang Lao has good ideas for. Yi Tianxing nodded his head. This issue is indeed a matter before him, although no one can exchange higher-level exercises. The problem has not yet arisen, but this is obviously a problem that is bound to appear. It's like a few exercises in classics from Cao Zhengchun. How to estimate its value. Give corresponding contribution points, how to calculate, how to obtain, how to evaluate. These are difficult problems to solve. And the things that have to be solved. Otherwise, chaos will occur. However, in his eyes, Cheng Zhu was holding it. I think we need to establish two systems. One is a normal currency system. This is the currency that is circulating in the daily transactions of the people. This currency cannot be minted in gold and silver. The protagonist has publicly practiced exercises. It is possible to reach the point where everyone is a monk. It is not appropriate for monks to trade with ordinary gold and silver. It is necessary to find other valuables that can be substituted to mint currency. Quote, Obviously Huang Chengyan had already thought about this problem. Currency is an important link for the development and growth of civilization. If there is a problem with currency, the entire social system will collapse and the world will be in chaos. This is naturally not difficult to understand with Huang Chengyan's wisdom. For monks, ordinary gold and silver are just waste. If you really want to use gold and silver as the currency system, that is simply an idiot behavior that challenges people's wisdom. In the world, gold and silver can still be used for the past, but it is absolutely impossible for monks to circulate. Therefore, gold and silver have been excluded. But how to solve it is still an unsolvable problem. To be a currency, it must be useful to monks. At this point, Huang Chengyan is still not sure what to replace. After all, it has just entered the world of monks, and many things are strange. The eternal continent is a fusion of all walks of life, and the heavens and earth are full of vitality. The number of spirit minds derived from them should be countless. The number is very amazing. I guess there will be many spiritual minds and spar minds. These spirits, the stone contains pure heaven and earth vitality, which can be absorbed by the monks, and cultivated. My plan is to use ore containing crystals such as spiritual stone and spar as raw materials, and then assist others, and finally cast a suitable money circulating among monks. Quote, Yi Tianxing said, I have a strange treasure in my hand, called Chenkin coin furnace. This coin furnace can cast any kind of coins. You can design coin molds by yourself. After designing the mother money, you can send various materials. When you go in, a lot of coins are continuously minted by energy. Now the key is to find a spiritual stone, spar vein. As long as you find it, you can complete the issuance of the currency in the shortest time. Quote, Among the thousands of strange treasures he seized during the cataclysm, although there are not many architectural types, there are many strange treasures with unique functions. This Chengquan minting furnace is one of them. After knowing its function, Yi Tianxing is very clear that this is definitely a pivotal treasure and will be of great use in the future. Money is a blood artery of influence. When Huang Chengyan heard it, he was shocked in his heart, and then a joy. He saw with his own eyes the abilities of each of the strange treasures. Each one was an incredible treasure. Now there is a coin laundering furnace in Chengkan. The coinage is absolutely foolproof. This will greatly promote the development of Xuanwang village. Currency is an indispensable link in the development of human civilization. However, how can we find a spiritual mine? If the spiritual mine cannot be found, the currency must not be minted. Huang Chengyan frowned slightly. Looking for spiritual mines, but this requires a certain amount of luck, even a dedicated prospector. This also needs to see if there are spirit mines in this valley. The matter of minting currency can be slowed down for a while. After all, villages are still under construction and eating big pots of rice. Only when the various infrastructures are completely built can they be really needed. But the contribution system must be established as soon as possible. Huang Chengyan said that, www.novelhall.com, this point can only be recorded and registered in the most primitive way. such as soldiers, to protect the village, is the first line of standing in the fight of beasts and monsters, can be awarded monthly points of merit. If you contribute more, you can get extra points of merit. However, it is necessary to establish corresponding standards for the distribution of merit points. Yi Tianxing said after a slight groan. At this time, I can't help but miss the modern computer. With a computer, many problems can be solved easily and become easier. If there is a unique technology-based intelligence, it will certainly have an incredible impetus for Xuanwang village. It is a pity that out of thousands of exotic treasures, such an exotic treasure cannot be found. Moreover, it is uncertain whether modern technology can be used and can still emerge. During the cataclysm, all electronic equipment in the entire world was destroyed. Now no one can be sure whether the rules of this eternal continent allow the development of electronic technology. If it is not allowed, even if you find a computer, you still can't use it, except for those treasures born from heaven and earth. The deliberations were late into the night. Huang Chunyan did not leave, and found a vacant room in the mansion. It was dark at night, standing in front of the Tibetan scripture pavilion in the village, and welcoming three figures. It's a magical Tibetan scripture hall. The whole body is like a glazed glass. This is really a magical treasure from Brother Yi. It's incredible, I have never seen such a treasure before. Yang Yanding exclaimed. Come on, let's go in and select the exercises. Only with real practice exercises can we become stronger and find some of your younger brothers alive. Yang Yi took a deep breath and walked into the Zhangjing pavilion. Chapter 103, Celestial Warfare. Second more, please recommend collection. Close black lens bracket. In the barracks, he completely settled the soldiers in the Yang family, and had a thorough rapport with the original soldiers of Xuanwang village. They were familiar with each other. They all talked about each other, all soldiers, and had a common language. People who are very honest with each other. There are no bad eyes, and they all have the experience of fighting with the murderer. The same encounter brings a best communication bridge. And, in the conversation, we all know about the Tibetan Sutra. It is also known that everyone in Xuanwang village, whether a soldier or an ordinary villager, can all be qualified to practice, and to go to the Tibetan scripture pavilion for the inheritance of Gongfa, but this inheritance is no way out. To get it, you can only go to the scripture pavilion, and you can only get it in the scripture pavilion. On the spot, after eating lunch, all the generals of the Yang family entered the Tibetan scripture pavilion in succession to receive the basic skills of the army, iron blood shiki. Many people returned to the barracks and began to practice. The villagers and people who had originally moved from Yangjia village to Liaoyuan also went in and out of the Tibetan scripture pavilion to receive the practice method of pure Yuan Gong. Each one has a happy look on his face. But the three of Yang's father and son did not rush to choose the exercises. After waiting for everyone to learn the exercises, they started to come to Zhangjing pavilion together. The large Tibetan Sutra hall is totally two worlds seen from the outside. It is said that during the day, tens of thousands of people enter and exit at the same time, and the Tibetan Sutra hall can be easily accommodated without any congestion at all. It is the same in another world. This should be very similar to the legendary mustard Nasumi's great magical power. It is indeed a real strange treasure. Yang Yanping looked at the Tibetan scripture hall in front of him in amazement. At a glance, there were white bookshelves everywhere. I seemed to have a subtle smell of books in the air. I was in it, and could not help but give birth to a sense of meditation. Delang, Erlang, let's search separately to see if there is a practice method suitable for us. Although, iron blood shiki, is good, but I have heard that the first foundation of cultivation is the more stable the foundation is, the later achievements the higher it is, the foundation building techniques that we have just started must not be sloppy. Quote. Yi Yangye is not low-minded. I want to cultivate, naturally I want to stand on a higher level. Iron blood shiki is obviously only the most basic military method. It is too popular. If you practice together, you may not have much advantage. Yes, Dad, Yang Yanping agreed without hesitation. Shuan turned around and began to scatter, looking for bookshelves. Sit and forget the scriptures, the top foundation building method, conceived innately, and can fit perfectly with one's own physique. Thousands of people practice sitting and forgetting, thousands of people are different. See the notes that belong to the sitting scriptures. My heart suddenly became fiery. This is the top foundation building method. In Shanghai, not many methods can be compared with it. This foundation method is definitely a rare treasure that is hard to find. The 8 blades of iron blood, the best combat skills of Huang Jia. Iron blood is vertical and horizontal, the sword is fierce and aggressive. The iron blood sword is intended, there is no advance or retreat, and it is fierce and overbearing. You can understand the meaning of the iron blood sword when you practice Dachang. Yang Yanting also stopped in front of a bookshelf, and looked at the knife method, and his eyes were hot. He is a cultivator, strong in strength, and good at using a knife. Once he can get a good knife, it is enough to make an amazing change in combat power. Such a knife method has made him unable to move. The Sword of Heaven, Shanghai chapter is the top exercise method in the army. It contains the Sky Array Vision Map, which can learn the heaven and earth's evil spirits, and the world's murderous practice. It can be used as a supplementary exercise method. True Qi, let the true spirit contain the sharp edge of Tianbing. Quote. Yi Yangye also stood in front of a bookshelf, looking at a white book in front of her, and couldn't help showing a very strong heart. This practice can draw on the evil spirits in the heavens and the earth for cultivation. The stronger the evil spirits, the faster the cultivation will grow. This is definitely the most perfect fit for the military. Moreover, the most important thing is that this is a supplementary practice method, and you can choose other exercises as your main practice method. There are no hidden dangers yet. Such exercises are naturally precious. Yi Yangye can imagine that it is impossible for ordinary people to obtain its preciousness. This is not a free exercise. In exchange for merit points. Dad, I found a top base building method, sit and forget, but that's not free, I can't get it. Yang Yanping came to Yang Yi and said. Dad, I saw a combat technique and it is very powerful. Once I cultivate, I can greatly increase my strength on the spot. Yang Yanting also came to say. There are a lot of exercises here, each one is a treasure that is hard to find. However, except for basic exercises and basic combat skills, all other points must be exchanged for merit points. Without merit points, it is impossible to get, Yang Yi also said in a deep voice. Dad, we exchange that Vajra Dragon Elephant Gong to the Tibetan Scripture Pavilion. I have already inquired about it before. Here are the exercises that can be exchanged. As long as it is not in the Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, we can donate it. We'll give corresponding compensation, you can choose more advanced exercises in the Tibetan scriptures. Moreover, we have settled in this Xuanwang village, Brother Yi is also a person who is worthy of loyalty. At least we do better than us. There is nothing in this courage that can give everyone the opportunity to practice. Quote. Yang Yanping took a deep breath, his eyes flashed quickly, and said quickly, moreover, our purpose is to protect the people by themselves. Now joining Xuanwang village, loyal to Yi Yi, it is better to protect these people, and also to give Dad the ability it is really displayed and reused. Once Dad opens his allegiance to Yi Yi's courage, he will definitely not learn a few exercises. It won't even need us to present, King Konglong Elephant Gong. During the day, I also visited the village. I know a little about the establishment and development of Xuanwang village. The more so, the more I admire. There was no complete army here, and Yi Tianxing relied on his own strength. With the villagers, house, a piece of paradise that was forgotten. The dilemma they face is bigger than their Yangjia village. I can go where it is today. This ability really surprised and admired him, and he was convinced. That's what I have now. Erlang, take out, King Konglong Elephant Gong. Yang Yi said in a deep voice. Dad, you, Yang Yanping's face changed, thinking he had no intention of being loyal. Delang, our Yang family, loyal to loyalty, for the people in front of us, not for the sake of these benefits. Although the original homeland is gone, my Yang family must not be lost. My Yang family, do not occupy this it's cheap. We can still pay the price if we learn the exercises. Yang Yi said with a solitude on his face, and Shen Sheng said, as a soldier, when you have to know, you have no desire. Just don't be fooled by your interests to see the battlefield situation clearly. Win the battle, quote. Yes, Dad, Yang Yanping heard that, and immediately nodded respectfully and promised, feeling sorrowful in their hearts and secretly remembering them. I want to present this exercise, King Konglong Elephant Gong, hoping that my 3 fathers and sons will get the inheritance of the Blade of Heaven, Zhu forgetting scripture, and Iron Blood 8 swords. Shi Yangye shouted, holding a white jade book in his hands. Brush. The chanting voice fell, and a white light enveloped the Vajra Dragon Elephant Gong, instantly, and then the exercises disappeared. Appeared on a white jade shelf. Follow closely. Several lines of inheritance shot out from the Tibetan pavilion, and penetrated into the three. In the mansion, Yi Tianxing originally closed his eyes and practiced secretly. He could not help but suddenly opened his eyes and flashed a surprise. Then a smile appeared, and he muttered to himself, "Interesting, I chose to use King Konglong Elephant Gong in exchange for the inheritance of the exercises, instead of choosing to be loyal to me directly in exchange for the exercises. It is truly a general of the Yang family, but only such people can bring out the Yang family." Quote. The Dazangjing Pavilion recognizes him as the master, and he will understand some of the changes in it. Suddenly adding a workbook, it is even more impossible to hide him. Know it immediately. In his heart, they also paid more attention to Yang Yi. Such a general is definitely hard to find. Choose to sit and forget the scriptures and Tianbing war code. This choice is really good eyesight. These two methods, together, are suitable for military generals, and the foundation's cast must be strong. www.novelhall.com, nod. Alas, I didn't care too much. Immediately immersed in the cultivation, Shisho absorbed the vitality of the heavens and the earth, while using the temperature of the true dragon to nourish the new Yang Waimai. Strive to warm this meridian in the shortest time to be as strong as the 12 cannons. Outside the Tibetan pavilion, Yang family father and son were inherited and left directly. After they left, a shabby young man walked to the Tibetan scripture court, looking at the Tibetan scripture court, with shock in his eyes, with jealousy, envy, and indifference on his face, muttering to himself, "Yi Tianxing, city the top exorcist, why do you have such a good life? You can get a village order, and so many strange treasures. It is simply luck. However, I will not be worse than you. You can do it, I can do it. What I lack is just a chance. Gongfa, I must get a Gongfa. As long as I have Gongfa, I can rise. By then, my money Xiaojia will not be weaker than anyone. I will not let silk counterattack." Quote. He muttered in a low voice, his eyes flashed. Without striding, he strode into the Tibetan pavilion. As soon as I entered, I saw the shocking scene in the Tibetan Buddhist pavilion. Such rows of white jade bookshelves are more luxurious than any library, full of fantasy colors. Makes people secretly calm. Dare to let everyone practice. I don't know how lucky this family name is, and how many exercises are practiced. Qian Xiaojia once again cursed secretly in her heart. To be continued. Chapter 104, Offer. The third is here, ask for all votes. Close black lens bracket. Gongfa, cultivation. There is no way to practice without Gongfa. There is no way to become a monk. Beyond ordinary people, Qian Xiaojia is very angry. Why can others be robbed by those immortal masters at the beginning? Zg, it's him who wants to be taken away. That's the real immortality. As soon as you enter Shanmen, compared to the outside, it is Bai Fumei, Gao Fushuai, and the proper protagonist. When it's his turn to arrest him, Tiandao comes out to interfere. Suppress all the power of Shanmen. Shi Shanmen couldn't get in, so the big Shanyuan disappeared. Qian Xiaojia was almost angry at the time and he vomited blood. For those who could get in, he was jealous and envious. There was no yelling from the sky and yelled. The environment outside is called a bad one. He lived to this day if he hadn't been flexible and careful. Especially when I saw Yang Jiazhen, my mind gave birth to endless fantasies. Well, the Yang family father and son dedicate the King Konglong Elephant Gong. I gave them to the surname Yi, who actually appeared in this Tibetan scripture pavilion. Pain, how could I give them? I wanted to give them a relationship, I wanted to get in a relationship, and then I tried to get them out. I gave them the exercises, and it was my own. I didn't expect that Yang Jiazhen couldn't stop outside those ferocious beasts. They are a bunch of waste. Quote. Saving Qian Xiaojia sneered secretly. He first gave Yang Yi his father and son, King Kong Dragon Elephant Gong. That was the only exercise in his hands. The idea at the time was naturally to hope to have a relationship with Yang Jiazhen and have the foundation to stay safe. But he did not expect that Yang Jiazhen could not be trusted. In Yangjia village, he was still scared, for fear that he did not know where a fierce beast would come out to capture and eat him. However, after seeing Yi Tianxing, Qian Xiaojia was the first to see his identity. He heard Yi Tianxing's name, but he had heard the name of the exorcist. However, in his opinion, Yi Tianxing's name is no matter how big, compared to him, it is a silk. Not at one level at all. He is the top rich second generation and official second generation. Actually, he also wanted to practice in King Konglong Elephant Gong, but the problem is the practice of the gate. It's too painful to practice. He can't stand the pain, so he has to give it up. Sit and forget the scriptures, the top foundation exercises, the treasures of Shanhai. Quote. Tianyi Tongzi Gong, the superior Shanhai Jinggong method, you need to keep the body of the boy. Non-children cannot practice. Quote. The War of Heaven. Quote. Qian Shaojia constantly shuttled in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, watching carefully, and seeing that gate of Gongfa, her eyes had strong greed. Damn, only, pure Yuan Gong, and, Iron Blood Fiend, are free. Only one can be selected. Once selected, it cannot be circulated. The surname Yi is indeed a good abacus. However, to cultivate, you must cultivation is the strongest. It seems that it is necessary to find a way to see Na Yishensheng. Quote. Qian Qianjia was naturally unwilling to choose only ordinary exercises for practice. He asked himself that, in his capacity, he must be the protagonist of the new world. To cultivate, it must be the most powerful practice. The basic exercises are only for ordinary people, but definitely not for him. I have planned to trade with Yi Tianxing. However, trading with Yi Tianxing is too risky. Once he was discovered that I was also a family member like him. Maybe it was bad intentions, and I directly went to the poisoned hand. Although I am a rich second generation, I am not so mentally disabled. In order to trade with him, we must also think about everything. If he were hacked by him, I would cry nowhere. Quote. Saving money Shaojia secretly thought. The second generation of Tongfu is not all brain damaged, it is just a part of the idiot who has been stunned by money and has lost his desire. Alas, he did not give up these free exercises. He did not hesitate to choose the inheritance of pure Yuan Gong, then chose the basic combat technique, basic sword technique, and then turned to leave. The next morning, the rising sun rose and the purple gas came eastward. Yi Yixing's figure appeared on the roof and opened his mouth to face the purple gas rising from the east. A ray of donglai purple gas that cannot be captured by the naked eye submerged into the body naturally. I felt that the yang Weimai in my heart was nourished by the purple gas from the east again, and became a little stiffer, and then slowly received power. Sure enough, it seems that once you break through to the third place of Shanhai, you will be able to capture the purple gas from the east, and you can absorb the purple gas from the east to grow and cultivate. However, ordinary third-season monks in the Shanhai area need to give up. Coming to the east of Ziqi, I'm afraid it will be difficult. There will be a certain chance of catching it. Yi Tianxing opened his eyes and looked at the rising sun and groaned secretly. This probability should be related to the exercises you have practiced. With strong roots, the odds are naturally higher. However, Yi Tianxing feels that it is not difficult to send purple gas to Nadong, although only a ray can be swallowed at a time, a ray can be equivalent to normal practice for several hours. It's another day, this will be a new beginning. Yi Tianxing said calmly. Gai Zhang the various rules and regulations negotiated with Huang Chengyan last night, once thrown out, it will trigger a fierce reaction. This is a milestone when Xuanwang village really started to develop rapidly. The integration of manpower is the progress of social civilization. I walked down from the roof and walked outside. I just arrived at the door, and suddenly a figure appeared in front of me. I've seen the village chief. The man stepped forward and said politely. No need to be polite. Yi Tianxing waved and smiled slightly. Village chief, I have received a treasure before, this time I want to dedicate it to the village chief. The comer said loudly. This mansion has always been one of the most eye-catching buildings in the village, not to mention Yi Tianxing, the current situation has attracted the attention of many people instantly. Moreover, when I heard the man's words, they were all curious. I don't know what kind of treasure to offer. What's your name? As long as the treasure you brought out is really useful, I will not treat you. As long as it is reasonable, I can agree. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed. For a self-giving devotee who comes out suddenly, he will never believe it. If you have no selfishness, no desire, and treasures, you have already taken them out, and you will wait till now. That must be purposeful. As far as Yi Tianxing is concerned, it is impossible for himself to give away his treasure to others for no reason. If you do and ask, it's called a problem. My surname is Qian, my name is Shaojia. I have always been yearning for cultivation, but ordinary exercises seem to be difficult to get started. I want to enter the Tibetan scripture hall and choose a better one. Try if I can achievements. It was Qian Shaojia who came. The timing he chose happened to be when Yi Tianxing went out. He was at the door again, all in sight. If you open your mouth to offer treasure, you will not be afraid of Yi Tiongui going back. Not talking. Oh, you can't pass the exercises lightly. Although there are exercises in the scripture pavilion, you need merit points to redeem them. If the treasure you brought out is really good, I can make an exception for you to choose a practice. Quote. Qi Yishanxing smiled and said calmly, I am also very curious about what Qian Shaojian has in front of me. I don't know what it was, but I picked it up. At that time, there was Baoguang. I knew it was not an ordinary item at first glance, so I kept it forever, you see. Saving money, Xiaojia didn't hesitate and quickly found a crystal ball from her body. The crystal ball is really peculiar. It looks like a real crystal. It has no impurities and is crystal clear. In the sun, it glows like a crystal. It's really flawless. Perfect as beautiful art. I don't know how many girls can attract. This is not glass. At first glance, Yi Xingxing determined that this crystal ball is definitely not a modern product, and it would not be a glass craftwork. This natural and precious light is definitely a strange treasure bred from heaven and earth. Although I don't know what it is definitely not an ordinary item. As long as it is a different treasure, it must have its magic side. It really looks like a treasure, and you really intend to dedicate it to me. Yi Tianxing nodded and looked at Qian Shaojia again. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Qian Shaojia nodded without hesitation, but secretly said in her heart, this crystal ball is a treasure I caught before, but I don't know what this thing is for, and what the message is called the true spirit crystal ball. Everything else is gone, who knows what it is, and, www.novelhall.com, I still do something in it. It's not so easy to want my baby. Well, I have collected the treasures. You can now go to the Tibetan Scripture Pavilion. On the first floor, you can choose any one of the exercises, but only one. You take it seriously. Yi Tianxing he thought of picking up the crystal ball and said. Thank you for your success. Hearing Qian Shaojia, he immediately rejoiced and immediately turned towards the Jingjing Pavilion. Looking at Qian Shaojia's back, Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, groaning secretly in his heart. This money Shaojia is weird, not very ambitious, and wants to offer treasure. When not in nobody, it happens in the morning, when I go out in the public it's because I am afraid I won't honor his request. I am afraid I am underworld and swallowed his treasure. The idea is so complicated and the mind is so heavy. There are some problems. Quote. And, from him, a faint sense of familiarity was felt. It seemed normal, but there seemed to be an arrogance from the bones. Also, there is a temperament that is different from most. Save money Shaojia, Yi Bao. Is he a heavenly dependent? A thought suddenly appeared in my mind. It's interesting if you really are a dependent, what he wants to do. There was a touch of deepness in Yi Yixing's eyes, and he mumbled to himself. Looking at the Zhangjing Pavilion, he did nothing else. He chose, Tianyi Tongzi Gong. To be continued. Chapter 105, Dog Bites Money Shaojia. Tianyi Tongzi Gong, this is only eunuchs, and even those who do not intend to break down, and always maintain the virginity of the virgin, will practice. Once practicing, there is almost no plan to marry a wife and have a child, and monks will practice. It is simply impossible for Jia's personality to choose such a method, even if this method is just overbearing. But the disadvantages are huge. Any ordinary person will not practice easily if they have choices. Keeping the body of a boy is extremely painful for a man, and even Qian Shaojia is even more unlikely to be a boy. It's not that there is no better skill in Tianyi than in Tianyi boy. I sit and forget the scriptures, the heavenly soldiers' war codes are all the top Shanghai realm exercises. Choose the heavenly god boy Gong, this brain is not bad. At this moment, even Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, feeling a moment of doubt. If Qian Shaojia is a dependent, then it is impossible not to know how to choose good exercises, but this is the opportunity obtained by offering treasures. How can it be calculated that the other party cannot be so stupid? Then there must be other deep meanings in it. But at this point, Yi Tianxing cannot guess, too little information. Qian Shaojia came out with a smile in front of the Tibetan Buddhist pavilion. He has got the tradition of the exercises he wants. Indeed, both Zhangjing and Tianbing war code are very good base building techniques, but he chose Tianyi Tongzi Gong. Okay, with this Tianyi Tongzi Gong, with the bio-assisted chip in my body, I can definitely make up for the defects of the boy's body in the work method. In addition, I get the different treasures of Tianbao Aquarium, which can condense the Tianbao treasures. Dan, I can rise at the fastest speed. I am a lover of heaven. This eternal continent will definitely have my place. Quote. What Yi Tianxing, Master Yi, is just a gloomy man. Don't think that I can't see the destruction of Yangjiakyun. It is simply what you want most. If you really do your best, then the Moon Lord Wolf will not. The village may be destroyed. He just wants Yang Jiazhen and the people in Yangjia village. However, I am the protagonist. Quote. Saving money. Xiaojia secretly exults. He is the second generation of the rich, and he has to endorse the second generation of the rich. The second generation of the rich is definitely not talented. As long as they are given the opportunity, they can also stand out and show their unique style and have a good family. Capital. Who told them that the technique of reincarnation is good, and envy? My heart rejoiced, and my steps became lighter when I walked out of the Tibetan pavilion. He believes that it won't be long before he can fly into the sky. Become a real protagonist. Wang, it's you asshole. When Xiaojia was in the midst of fantasies about the future, a barking of dogs came and followed, an angry curse. Evil dog, it's not me, you recognize the wrong person. Xiaojia woke up, fixed her eyes, and her face suddenly changed her face. He only saw that the Green Emperor stood side by side, staring at Xiaojia with all his eyes, but his eyes were full of anger and fierceness, and even his teeth were exposed, and he saw the eyes of the enemy. Eyes are red. You bastard, even if you are turned into ashes, I recognize you. Not only did you half a from me, it was given to me by a dog egg, but you dared to grab it and hit me with a stick. Later I went to find you, but I couldn't find it. I didn't expect you to be here. You don't want to run today. I know you, your name is Xiaojia, and your surname is Qian, you don't want to run. Green Emperor stared at Xiaojia. When he was in Yangjia village, he had been hungry for a long time, and everyone couldn't fill his stomach, let alone a dog. Moreover, it had hair loss all over his body, and it looked horrible, and no one would approach, and he wanted to fill his stomach. Maybe the dog egg gave it half a hoe, and the still hid for a long time. It's going to be choked, but at that time, it was life-saving food. He was snatched by Xiaojia. He not only snatched the hoe, but also smashed some sticks on it with a wooden stick. These are the things that I remember very well. I had found Xiaojia before, but I didn't find him. I didn't expect to see him here. His eyes were red, and he yelled, the surname is Qian, the Emperor will kill you. You must kill you. Quote. The Green Emperor roared and kicked both hind legs to the ground. They immediately flew into the sky and darted toward Xiaojia. Damn. Xiaojia's face changed greatly, and he hurried away to avoid it. His response was not slow, and he seemed to be able to see the trajectory of it. This avoidance actually avoided it. He is like a pen from God. Then he ran out without hesitation. While running, he also called for help. Help, come and kill this crazy dog. This mad dog is going to bite. It's gone mad. Stop it quickly. Xiaojia ran to the village mouth, while making a life-saving sound in her mouth. What's going on? This sudden change, even if Yi Tianxing couldn't help revealing a strange color. He had originally planned to speak and try again, but he did not expect that the Green Emperor would suddenly come out and look bitter towards Xiaojia. After seeing it, chasing his mouth and biting. Depending on the situation, it is a sea of hatred. Even the people around him had no time to respond. This Xiaojia seems to want to leave Xuanwang village. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed a strange color, and a thought appeared in his mind. I can see that although Xiaojia was running away from the Emperor under the chase of the Green Emperor, the direction he ran was the position of the village gate, and he consciously fled outside the village. Is he going to leave Xuanwang village? I want to go, I'm afraid it's not that easy. Being able to flee continuously under the chase of the Green Emperor is not easy enough. This money Xiaojia can always avoid the key at the last moment. However, under the eyes of Yin and Yang, it can be found that from the green on the Emperor's body, there was a green gas tangling towards Xiaojia's body. Being entangled in green gas, surely nothing good will happen. Even before Yi Tianxing was recruited. As long as he is hostile to the Green Emperor or is attacked, there will be green gas entangled in the opponent, entangled by the green gas, and it will definitely be unlucky. Oops, sure enough. Just after being chased out of the village, Xiaojia was tripped over by a stone and planted a dog to eat **** on the spot. Moreover, it is still the kind of face. That call is miserable. My handsome face. Qian Shaojia screamed. Ah, my asterisk. But immediately a louder scream was made. I only saw that after Qian Shaojia's fall, the Green Emperor immediately showed excited eyes and flew up unceremoniously, and opened his mouth on Qian Shaojia's enlarged butt. There was blood shining. I can see that the Green Emperor lowered his mouth and did not leave any emotions, and went down to death. Moreover, once you bite, you don't let it go. Matsuguchi, you loose me. Damn beast, how dare you bite my asterisk and loosen up quickly. I was wrong, I will accompany your hoe. You loosen me. Qian Shaojia stood up, hung a big dog directly on his buttock, made a painful scream, kept screaming, and slammed the Emperor, trying to let it loose, but it was useless, the Emperor just bite. Moreover, when hitting the Green Emperor, he bumped and hit a stone under his feet and fell to the ground. Boom. However, Qian Shaojia was also ruthless. When he saw the Emperor who was not loose, he gritted his teeth and slammed on the ground. In this sitting, Qian Shaojia's buttocks were the Green Emperor, and that was sitting directly on the head of the Green Emperor. Let the Green Emperor scream. Involuntarily let go. Taking this opportunity, Qian Shaojia ran out again. Where the Green Emperor is willing to let go, chasing behind is a bite. Actually chased into the edge of the jungle that I crossed yesterday. This was dropped from Qian Shaojia. The package is so tight, it seems to be a very important treasure on him. Yi Tianxing came to the place where Qian Shaojia had hit the Green Emperor, and saw a cloth bag falling on the ground. This thing is obviously not Green Emperor's, it can only be Qian Shaojia's fall in the beating. Damn beast, I won't let you go. I will come back to seek revenge on me when I am repaired in the future. My Qian Shaojia has never been bitten by a dog. I will definitely come back. Just then, when Green Emperor chased Qian Shaojia's mad bite, Qian Shaojia's face showed grief and indignation, and roared. A golden light appeared on Yu reading, and took him away instantly, cut through the void, disappeared. Obviously, that Jingguang is a baby, and with Qian Shaojia, she just disappeared. But his anger remained in the air. It's a shame to be chased by dogs into the sky. This shame must not be left alone, he must kill the Green Emperor, chop the skin and cramp, and cook a dog hot pot. Bitten by a dog, he wants to eat it back. Sure enough, he is a lover of heaven, and he still has a lot of different treasures. There are even strange treasures that can be used to save lives. He can take him away and take away instantly. Such strange treasures are absolutely precious, and even used by the Emperor. It's a pity. Quote, Yi Tianxing can already be sure that this money Shaojia is no accident, it is a family member, and, in the beginning, there should have been some rare treasures, and many are very precious. There are all kinds of life-saving treasures. The luck on his body is certainly not weak, and the Emperor did not kill him. But to be sure, this money Shaojia must have hated the Green Emperor. There will be opportunities to meet in the future. I don't know what it will look like at that time. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and took a meaningful look at Jingguang's direction. I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. However, being bitten by the Green Emperor, even if you are a family member, you will have trouble for a while. I believe you will remember it deeply. Yi Tianxing said with a smile in his heart. A glance at the cloth bag in his hand reveals curiosity. To be continued. Chapter 106. True Spirit Crystal Ball. Whatever it is an unexpected delight. Yi Tianxing smiled and glanced at the cloth bag in his hand. As long as it is a strange treasure, it must be unique. It has been born from heaven and earth. No one knows how many strange treasures will appear. Sir, what are you going to do about this? King Wang Dahu had rushed over with a group of soldiers and asked. What happened just now is too sudden. From the time the Green Emperor attacked Qian Shaojia, until Qian Shaojia escaped from the village entrance, but it happened in a while. Even the people in the village had no time to stop it. Wang Dahu arrived when I saw it, it was over. No one expected that the Green Emperor would suddenly occur. Don't worry, Qian Shaojia is not an ordinary person. He has left. As for where it will appear, no one can know. Yi Tianxing shook his head slightly. You go to notify Huang Lao and Jia Yukan, General Yang and his father, Chu Weiming, and Wang Fengshan. There are some other people. If you go to Huang Lao will tell you. After telling them to have breakfast, they will go to the lobby of our mansion to discuss it. Stand up. Yes, Lord. Hearing Wang Dahu, he grinned and showed a smile. He was very happy when Yi Tianxing discussed the matter without excluding him. This means that he has already stepped into that circle, and his future will certainly be great. Go. Yi Yishanxing returned to the village, in a large pot, filled a bowl of congee, drank it, and filled his stomach first. Then quickly returned to the mansion. I sat down at the stone table in the garden, and a crystal ball and a cloth bag were placed in front of me. He is still very curious about these two treasures obtained from Qian Shaojia. I opened the cloth bag first, and you can see that a white jade treasure bottle appeared in front of me. This treasure bottle looks as large as a mineral water bottle. The whole body is as white as jade, flawless and flawless. But there are mysterious textures interlaced above. These textures not only do not destroy the beauty of the treasure jar itself, but appear extremely natural, but also fill a bit of mystery. It turned out to be a white jade treasure bottle, which was carefully collected by Qian Shaojia. It should not be an ordinary treasure bottle. Yi Tianxing saw that his eyes were bright on the spot, and he secretly gave a hint of expectations. Where there are treasures such as tripods, bells, and jars, few of them are simple and ordinary. However, this treasure bottle has been released by Qian Shaojia from the state of light ball, and the message generated at the moment of release will only appear the first time. Now holding it, I see and feel any message when I touch it. Unless you explore a little bit by yourself, refining it can understand its true efficacy and ability. Alas, Yi Tianxing doesn't need to be so troublesome. Suddenly, Wu Zishanshu appeared in his hands. There is no word in the heavenly scriptures. Almost most of the strange treasures are in front of him. Open the wordless heavenly book, with countless words flashing on it. That is the various messages recorded by Wu Shu Tianshu before. From the great catastrophe of the heaven and earth, to now, various deeds and various precious messages have been recorded. The most recent one appeared in the heavenly book. Eating 10,000 years old mold and growing green hair, the meat buns wrapped with the meat of the 10th unlucky ghost did not die, and the constitution changed. The specific species is unknown. This is Yi Tianxing's secret investigation of the Emperor of the Green Emperor with the wordless book. Alas, after eating such a terrible mold-buckling bun, it is not dead, and the physique has undergone metamorphosis. At first glance, it is definitely not a bad thing. I am afraid that it is still in the process of transformation. Once the metamorphosis is completely completed, I am afraid this Green Emperor will be a little scary. Others dare not say, that guy's unlucky ability can make people retreat, and coupled with the humorous personality, it is definitely hateful. Con, look what this aquarium is. Jie Yishan was going to have the wordless book facing the white jade aquarium. And at the moment, in the distant and unfamiliar mountains, Qian Shaojia was embarrassed, with a look of sadness and anger on his face, and shouted from the sky, why, my treasure bottle, my heavenly treasure bottle. No, there should be a soundtrack at this moment, a cut of plum. Tianjin treasure bottle, yellow order of different treasures, can gather the spirit of Tianqi by itself, condensing Tianli Dan. Tianli Dan can be grown and repaired. Jizai in the wordless heavenly book, a record suddenly emerged. It was able to bring together the spirit of TND and condense TND Dan. It can also be used to increase cultivation and increase strength. Then Qian Shaojia was really lucky, and he was able to get such a treasure. Good things, really good things. Quote. Seeing Yi Tianxing, her eyes suddenly lighted up, and her heart secretly rejoiced. Xu Shouwei nowadays his cultivation is not slow, but the sense of crisis brought by the outside world is always very strong. I hope that Lizu can grow and repair, but it uses 1 + 1, which is very precious, and even various treasures can be purchased in the hands of tourists. It is not difficult to know its preciousness, so he has always kept his wishing Lizu useless. If there is a Tian Lan Dan, although it may not be able to be compared with Lizu, it can also quickly increase its cultivation. This has a very important effect on their own strength and even the overall strength improvement of the entire Xuanwang village. Panacea, this is one of the almost indispensable resources for monks. This kind of strange treasure that directly condenses the natural gas of qi, the condensed tiandan is free of any drug impurities, and it is a natural one. Swallowed without poisons or impurities. Definitely a panacea, Baodan. This is only the yellow class. This treasure jar can continue to be promoted and transformed. I'm afraid that Qian Shaojia will never die this time. However, even if he comes to seek revenge, I won't be afraid of him. Yi Tianxing looked at the ancestral aquarium and immediately knew that this hatred could not be resolved. This treasure bottle must be his chance, such as killing his parents. But what if I take it? The treasure has the virtue, and I am the virtue. When it falls into my hands, it is mine. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed cold. It is impossible for him to return in his hands. However, in a blink of an eye, he set his eyes on the crystal ball. The mutated True Spirit Crystal Ball, originally a different treasure True Spirit Crystal Ball, has the ability to contain the True Spirit. With the help of the crystal ball, the soul is immortal, it can absorb thousands of souls, and form a soul kingdom. It can conceive the soul and become a real spirit. Auxiliary chip sub-chip. An abnormal change has occurred. The crystal ball spirit and the biological auxiliary sub-chip have collided with each other and have been integrated into a deep sleep. A new exotic treasure has been formed. Quote. Shu and Shi, a message appeared on the wordless book. That's the message belonging to the True Spirit Crystal Ball. Bio-assisted daughter chip. Then Qian Shaojia has a biological assisted chip. He actually separated the daughter chip and integrated it into the crystal ball of the spirit. This is a plan, secretly unscrupulous. Want to count me? Suddenly there was a sense of killing in Yi Yixing's heart, and a killing had already appeared. Qian, this money Shaojia really is not a simple-minded person. When he presented the treasure, he had already done something. How dare to parasitic the biological sub-chip into the True Spirit Crystal Ball, but how did this biological sub-chip enter the crystal ball? No matter how he did it, now the whole True Spirit Crystal Ball has a strange mutation. The main biochip must be able to control the daughter chip. Qian Shaojia's purpose should be to control the crystal ball of the True Spirit. Even if it cannot be controlled, he can detect some information. But now the daughter chip and the crystal ball spirit collide with each other. At the same time as being integrated into a deep sleep, this kind of control should be completely disintegrated. This kind of mutation does not know what kind of transformation will happen. Quote. Yi Yixing frowned slightly and groaned secretly. Once this kind of abnormality occurs, it is difficult to determine whether it is good or bad. Moreover, one is a different treasure in practice, and the other is a fantasy strange treasure of biotechnology civilization. It's hard to imagine what kind of spark will happen when the two collide. Recognize the Lord before you speak. He didn't hesitate much. Instead of blindly guessing, it is better to directly recognize the Lord and directly understand what kind of changes this mutant crystal ball has produced. Drop a drop of essence blood on the crystal ball. The flawless crystal ball naturally absorbed that drop of blood, leaving no trace of blood on the surface. Qi Yixing felt that there was a mysterious connection between himself and the crystal ball. However, this connection was not very clear, but he had already recognized the Lord and the crystal ball did not respond to him. It seems that there is nothing inside. No control at all. It seems that it is a little worse than the final recognition of www.novelhall.com. However, after the integration of essence and blood, it seems that the core of the deepest part of the crystal ball is violently metamorphosing, and the relationship between them is increasing a little bit faster. The instrumental spirit in this crystal ball is still asleep and in chaos. It has not been fully conceived, but the speed of this incubation seems to be accelerating. There is something in the crystal ball. Is it a rune, or something else? In the crystal ball that was originally crystal clear, you can clearly see that weird and strange runes have begun to emerge. These runes are flashing, appearing, disappearing, and another weird symbol is flashing. Collide with each other. Every collision seems to be groundbreaking. When watching, Yi Tianxing couldn't help but be dazzled, a strange sense of fainting appeared, and quickly turned his eyes away. I don't know what kind of strange treasure will evolve. Qi Yixing secretly expected in his heart and waited, and wanted to see with his own eyes that this crystal ball had completed mutation and transformation, but there was a sound of footsteps outside the door. Master, Huang Chengyan has come in. Huang Lao has arrived so soon. He put away the crystal ball in the aura jar, and responded with a smile. Well, how can old age be neglected at such an important moment today? Huang Chengyan said with a smile. I think everyone else should be here soon, it is better for the protagonist to move about in the lobby. To be continued. Chapter 107, Talent. I had something to delay. The lobby is very spacious. It was originally used to discuss guests. After Yi Yixing sat down on it, not long after, Wang Dahu had taken a group of mermaids into the lobby. These are not only Chu Weiming, Wang Fengxian, but also the Yang family. Jia Yukan, Cao Zhengchun. And there are still many people you don't know. Come to this lobby together. The old slave meets the Lord. After Zheng came in, Cao Zhengchun bowed down to Yi Tianxing first, performed a great gift, and looked respectfully. I didn't say that you came to Xuanwang village, that is a member of Xuanwang village, the people in the village. There is no need to be a slave. Yi Tianxing saw, frowning slightly, and said slowly. This Cao Zhengchun, he could not grasp the pulse. Although past history cannot be used as a guideline, it can be used as a reference. Cao Zhengchun's reputation is not very good. However, his potential is really amazing, he has real Dan in his body. After rebuilding the Tiangong Tongzi Gong, he is extremely fast. In a short period of time, he has begun to impact the 12 seriousness, reaching the second level of Shanhai. At this rate, coupled with the refining of Jundan, in a short time, the 12 cannons will be completely broken through, and promotion to the third place of Shanhai is definitely not a problem. I rebuilt again, and having such speed is simply a very natural thing. Since the old slave has swears to heaven, then she will be the servant of the protagonist for life. A touch of firmness. After getting up, he went directly to Yi Tianxing and stood behind him. Hold your hands and keep your head down. There is real energy rolling in the body, and it seems to just stand and enter the practice. But his ears trembled, and he could see that he knew what was going on outside. This is dual purpose. Kill your eyes. This destiny can split one's mind into two, use it with one heart, or even use it with one heart. It's like having more eyes than others. If it can be cultivated to the extreme, it can even transform. Obviously, Cao Zhengchun has completely ironed himself, standing behind Yi Tianxing, lowering his head with a willing gesture to be a slave. Moreover, he has brought his identity into all his actions. In this regard, Yi Tianxing saw that he could only shake his head slightly and did not discourage him. Since Cao Zhengchun is really willing to be a slave and recognize him as the master, then what about accepting it? Originally, history was written by the victors, eunuchs could not interfere with the records of the historical records. Hands. No one knows the true nature. What's more, this is a new world. Everyone is like a newborn and can start a new life. Anyone can choose a new beginning. Since Cao Zhengchun is willing to admit the Lord, Yi Tianxing can't stop it. There are really other thoughts that have been there for a long time and can be seen naturally. As for Cao Zhengchun's choice, the eyes of many people in the lobby have changed slightly. Cao Zhengchun is not an ordinary generation. After entering Xuanwang village, the exposed human feelings are quite amazing. It is very kind to everyone. In the shortest time, I learned most of the things in Xuanwang village. People like this used to be personal. Xuan was willing to recognize the Lord as a slave, and even Huang Chengyan felt hesitant for a while, turning his eyes on Cao Zhengchun, but he didn't care. Sincerely confess the Lord, that is a good helper for Yi Tianxing. However, now that Yi Tianxing accepts it by default, after that, the attitude towards Cao Zhengchun needs to be carefully paid attention to. Well, this is the first time that some people have met. Let us introduce each other. In the future, they will be the backbone of Xuanwang village. They are talents. As long as they have talent, I dare to reuse them. As long as they have talent, I will give you unexpected benefits and status. Yi Tianxing looked at the crowd gathered below, and many of them were people who met for the first time. There are people, craftsmen in various costumes, etc. Some know, some don't. But if you can be brought here, it must be someone who has the skills. There are already tens of thousands of people in Xuanwang village. The chances of talent appearing inside are naturally higher. All that is gathered here is part of it. And they were all the first villagers of Xuanwang village. Of course, there were also some rescued from the ogre camp. The village head, my name is Hu Bin. I am a carpenter, and my family is an ancestral carpenter craftsman. Whether it is building a house, making furniture, various wooden tools, as small as carving a dragon and painting a phoenix, I can count as a master. The handsome young man came out. The appearance is not outstanding, with calluses on both hands. When talking about woodworking, the confidence on his face can be seen at a glance. Well, yes, Hu Bin's woodworking skills are very exquisite. He has unique insights and experience in building various buildings. Many of the houses, wooden walls, and various woodworking items in our village were built by him. However, he has been immersed in work, saying that the protagonist took the soldiers to kill him with blood, and he will help the protagonist to build a home with the soldiers. Huang Chengyan nodded and said something. Obviously, I know something about Hu Bin. Well, Xuanwang village just needs more pragmatic people to become better and more perfect. Yi Tianxing nodded secretly. This is the disposition of the descendants of Yanwang. Some people with unique skills are always so diligent in studying their own skills. I put one mind on craftsmanship, but not much thought on others. Village chief, my name is Iron Cow, and I am a famous blacksmith. I will build all kinds of weapons, farm tools, knives. I used to be a blacksmith in the army, and build weapons and armor for soldiers. Heirloom craftsmanship, I will build 100 weapons. I can build most of the weapons. However, I need a lot of pig iron, and there is too little pig iron in the village. Otherwise, I can build a good weapon. Quote, Iron Cow said with a sigh. His body looks extremely burly and strong. Like a calf, his muscles are shaking, very strong and full of strength. It was just a little black and red, and it was baked at high temperature. Well, good, Yi Tianxing gave him a deep look and nodded. The village chief, my name is Zhu Dachang, and I am a homemaker. As long as I have bamboo, I can make all kinds of bamboo objects. Village chief, my name is Lian. I can make paper. My family is an ancestral paper mill. My family uses only the finest materials. After a series of procedures, we can produce a batch of fine white paper. Before they are used by noble officials. They are painted by Dan Cheng. As long as there are enough people, I can start papermaking again and make a lot of white paper. A middle-aged man stepped forward and said. He has absolute confidence in making paper. The white paper he made was of the highest quality. Moreover, he will also make a secret paper-making method, which can make a truly flawless white paper. You know how to make paper, good. Yi Tianxing heard, his eyes couldn't help it. From the perspective of Shuan, this Xuanwang village is really full of talents, but it has not been excavated before. Once excavated, naturally, many neglected talents can be discovered. The importance of paper is undoubted. It plays an extremely important role in the development of human civilization. Without paper, the spread of civilization, the continuation of knowledge, I do not know how many times it will be slower. My name is Lu Zan. I have a good reputation for being a scholar. I have asked 4 books and 5 sutras, and the saints' classics are well known in my heart. A middle-aged man wearing a shabby robe, but quite well-formed, said. It can be seen from his face that he must have weathered the wind and frost before, and that he has experienced a lot of warmth and coldness. The human being is not high, but there is still a trace of strength. Village chief, my name is Zhang Yu. I used to be a head catcher, except for a superficial martial art, I couldn't do anything about it. A middle-aged man with a burly, rough-faced but bright-looking man came forward with his fists and said. There are still many people talking about it, including Chef Lai He. With some introductions, Yi Tianxing also got a general understanding of the people in the lobby today. Nodded secretly in the heart, with these people in there, a simple framework can be built at least, so that no one is available. After all, there is still a lack of talent. Please come here this time because the population in our Xuanwang village has been increasing. The scale of tens of thousands of people has exceeded the scope of ordinary villages and can be comparable to some towns. It can no longer be the same as before, and so. Sui Yishanxing paused for a moment, www.novelhall.com, and glanced at the faces of the people below, slowly said, I plan to open the government. In Xuanwang village, set up a preliminary management organization. It is used to manage various matters in the village. As soon as this word came out, suddenly, many people in the lobby's eyes lit up involuntarily, and immediately felt that this was an opportunity, an unprecedented opportunity. Once they can enter it, Xuanwang village develops after that, they are the veterans. Status will change dramatically. Suddenly his heart became hot. Moreover, they all felt that they really had a chance. This world is a new beginning, and there is no insurmountable class and identity gap. As long as they have the ability, everyone has the opportunity. This is definitely the best time. Everyone has a chance to stand out. Shuan, especially in Xuanwang village, is cultivated by everyone. This is doomed to be an ordinary village. Once developed, their future will reach unimaginable levels. As long as I think, a fire is burning in my heart. I had a careful discussion with Huang Lao last night, and finally identified a few major organizations. Let's manage Xuanwang village together. Qi Yishanxing didn't care how they reacted. Now it is the establishment of the government to determine the specific department. It is irrelevant to determine the functions of the major departments, as to who enters which department. I have a saying that is good, Iron Camp, running soldiers. To be continued. Chapter 108, Kaifu. Seeking recommended subscriptions. Close black lens bracket. As long as the system is established, the key departments are established, and the final functions are determined. These departments are the camps of Taida. No matter who is serving in the other people, they can be replaced and removed at any time if they want. Talented, go up; without talent, naturally go down. These established departments are a platform for these talents to compete and even show their talents. Only when there is a platform can there be talents. Only with talents can we exert the power of the platform. This point, since the modern era, Yi Tianxing with a history of 5,000 years as a reference is naturally very clear. The most important thing is to establish all major departments. Build the frame of influence. I plan to establish the Military Aircraft Cabinet. The Military Aircraft Cabinet is in charge of all military aircraft events in Xuanwang Village. The Military Aircraft Cabinet is separated from the internal affairs. The internal affairs must not interfere with the army, internal defense and so on. Except for me, no one else can interfere in the operation of the military aircraft. What Yi Tianxing had thrown was a blockbuster. Yang Yi's father and son, when Wang Dahu heard it, his body was shocked, and his heart seemed to be filled with shocking waves, and his face was full of shock. Their ears are normal, and they fully understand what Yi Tianxing said. The establishment of the military pavilion has attached unprecedented importance to the army and soldiers. The military aircraft cabinet cannot be interfered with by internal affairs. A department purely belonging to the military. Such a department has never appeared in any dynasty, and no one can make such decentralization of the military. This is equivalent to the restraint of the military. It will be reduced to the lowest level, but the generals will be more assured to fight the quartet without worrying about interference from others in the back. While fighting, there is no need to worry about dark arrows shot from behind. Quote. Yang Yi murmured in his heart, but his eyes were brighter than ever. Yi Qian he used to eat enough of the dark arrows shot from the back, from the slanderous wounds on the court, always worrying that he would be impeached by the minister. Not only are there often shortages of forages, there are also various rumors. I don't know when the decree will come. The results that were about to come to hand had to be abandoned, and ultimately failed. Thinking of those, countless army generals always sigh. Xuan is really in the court, the respect of the scholar, the lieutenant general is inherently inferior. In the eyes of the scholars, they are a group of martial arts and savages who only know dancing swords and swords. The number of requests for battle was rejected at the court. That kind of sad tears, Yang Yi has a deep understanding. At this moment when I heard the establishment of the military aircraft cabinet system, the blood in my heart immediately began to boil, and it seemed that a fire was constantly burning in my heart. Yang Yanping and Yang Yanding are also the same. The establishment of this military aircraft cabinet is simply the best treatment and the greatest respect for their soldiers. There is a military aircraft pavilion, and even if Xuanwang Village grows stronger in the future, it is unlikely that the status of military personnel will decline. This is the best place for soldiers. Yang Yi thanked the village chief for correcting the name of my soldiers in the world, so that our soldiers will not bleed and cry on the battlefield. Yang Yi, meet the protagonist. Yang Yi stepped forward on one knee and bowed down, his face set emotionally, excited and sincere. Just this respect and attention to the soldiers is enough to convince him to submit to him and bow down to worship. Yang Yanping meets his lord. Yang Yanding meets his lord. Yang Yanping's two brothers bowed down to meet together. For Yi Tianxing, he has been commensurate with his principle and has completely identified the monarch and his lord. For Yi Tianxing, the heart of belonging is born. Okay, General Yang Yi, Brother Yanping and Brother Yanding, you and the big tiger entered the military aircraft pavilion. However, the position in the military aircraft pavilion has not been finalized yet. It will take some time for everyone to brainstorm and finalize it. But the military aircraft pavilion, temporarily managed by General Yang, Big Tiger assists. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. The time last night was too short. I could only identify some departments, but there was no way to fully formulate the positions of each department. It also needs constant scrutiny. No system can be achieved overnight. It is born in response to demand. Especially the new department that Yi Tianxing is going to create. And, too few people are available now. Need to practice again and again, know what is needed, and then set up various positions as needed. Huan man, this slow increase, a little bit of improvement, is a verification process. Is also a growth process. I am going to set up the Tiangong Pavilion, bringing together craftsmen with various superb skills. The Tiangong Pavilion is in charge of various buildings and introduces new techniques. Create more new skills, new tools and treasures, etc. Work together for the construction of Xuanwang Village. The development of Xuanwang Village is inseparable from the various skills and the efforts of many craftsmen. We have become monks, and the skills in that hand must also be developed and transformed to a higher level. Beyond the ordinary. Quote, Hu Bin, Tai Niu, Zhu Dachang, Lian, etc., you will all enter Tiangong Pavilion. I hope you can make your own skills further. Incorporating the monk's ability into the skills should be a good direction. Quote, Yi Tianxing always believes that after the 5,000 years of China, the various skills formed by people's wisdom have unlimited potential, but they have different levels. They were originally in the commonplace. People become more convenient, and what kind of chemical reaction will occur if some abilities in spiritual practice are incorporated? This is what Yi Tianxing is looking forward to. According to legend, Lu Bin can create wooden birds that can fly in the sky and wooden horses that can run on the ground. This is the transformation of the skill at its peak, which has entered another level of skill. How it was done has long been unknown. But after becoming a monk, it is entirely possible to solve those problems in another way, or even a combination of the two, to produce a more wonderful sublimation. Yes, Lord, Hu Bin. They looked at each other, and they saw the joy in their eyes. These artisans were only in a very low position in their respective worlds and dynasties. There is no such opportunity and doorway to enter the high level. From the words of Yi Tianxing, they even feel a kind of respect, without any contempt. This respect instantly gave them a strong feeling that the confidant died. I plan to build the Temple of Heaven again. The function of Temple of Heaven is to take charge of the household registration of Xuanwang Village. Registration. We have practiced in Xuanwang Village and everyone has the opportunity to become a monk. Once we become a monk, the level of life has changed. It has begun to transcend the ordinary. It is equivalent to the fairy ****** in the eyes of ordinary people. Sooner or later, you can go to heaven. Then you cannot use the name of the secular Hub. Therefore, it is called the Temple of Heaven. Record the heaven. Register. Tianji Hall. The people in the lobby heard that there was no hope in their hearts. Yes, they are already on the path of being promoted by ordinary people to a higher level of life. As long as they continue, they can become immortals and become gods. Jia Yukan, you did a good job when you registered the villagers' household registration. This time, you entered the Temple of Heaven. You will temporarily manage the household registration. However, after registration, the military registration will be sent to the military pavilion. In the military pavilion make a copy. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked slowly at Jia Yukan and said slowly. Yes, Lord, Yukan will do his best to take care of the Temple of Heaven. Jia Yukan's heart was suddenly hot, and her whole body was shaking. Tianjidian seems to be only a matter of managing household registration, but this is definitely not a trivial matter. Tianjidian can become a temple independently, that is, officially enter the circle established by Yi Tianxing. It's the core, it's your own person. This is the most important. In particular, he was temporarily in charge of the Temple of Heaven, which was tantamount to being alone. As long as you do well, you are afraid that you have no chance to grow. Furthermore, the population is increasing now. Although the people in the village get along well, but people have no worries and there are near-term worries. They still need special institutions to maintain law and order, inspect the villages and eliminate all kinds of dangers. It is also responsible for arresting the perpetrators. Quote, I am going to set up 6 doors, which will be responsible for internal inspections. For the time being, Zhang Yu will be responsible for the formation. At that time, I can choose the manpower in the village. Those who have done fast capture before can be given priority. Yes, the protagonist. Zhang Yu must try his best to help the protagonist build the 6 doors. Zhang Yu said firmly. Yep. Yi Tianxing nodded his head. www.novelhall.com. He will build the Temple of Punishment in the future, but there is no such requirement now. Also, although there is a big pot of rice in the village, the preparation of food and materials is even more sloppy. I am going to build the Manpower Palace, in charge of materials, money, taxation, etc. The most suitable person in charge of the Manpower Palace is the businessman, Shui Jin. You started from scratch among businessmen. Eventually, you will be in charge of the Wanbao Hall for a while. If you do not do well, someone will replace you at any time. Quote. Qi Tianxing said to a belly-born middle-aged fat man. After saying something to Huang Chengyan before, this time he also brought the merchant named Shui Jin. This fat man always has a smile on his face, very kind, with small eyes flashing from time to time. I know at a glance that this is definitely a smart and capable master. If you are not savvy, how can you start from scratch and make a fortune in your family? This means of accumulating wealth is clever. In business, he is already outstanding. Now I heard that Yi Tianxing kissed him personally, his whole body was shaking, his eyes narrowed into a thin slit. Sheng Jia, in the past, he was the lowest ranking person, even if he had earned Wang Guan's fortune. Not as good, but now he has the opportunity to run the Wanbaodian and to control the money for Xuanwang village. Such an opportunity made him almost completely fainted. Fortunately, his psychology is not bad. Taking a few deep breaths, he said respectfully, "Please be assured that if my master Shui Jin can't do it, I will resign myself." To be continued. Chapter 109, Xinghai. Shui Jin, the Wanbao Hall is the center of money and food in Xuanwang village. Do and entertain yourself. You have to be a merchant, and this status is the least valued in any dynasty. It is even more impossible to enter the officialdom as an official. Huang had also opposed it before, but the protagonist insisted that the merchants brought goods to circulate the coins, which can make the coins run faster. They are good for human beings. They should not be discriminated against. If you use the merchant's style in thousands in the palace, old age will not spare you. Quote. Huang Chengyan said flatly in a deep voice. There was a bit of sternness in his words. Obviously he was afraid that Shui Jin would come to guard him from theft, and that was a big joke. Please be assured, Mr. Huang, Shui, I promise, I will help the protagonist and optimistic about the money bag for everyone. Shui Jin said loudly, his expression was firm. He must prove to others that businessmen are definitely not just sneakers and tricks, they can still do great things. Well, I'll wait and see. Shang Huang Chengyan nodded and glanced at Shui Jin. His eyes were very sharp, and he contained a lot of righteousness. But if there were ghosts in his heart, he would not dare to look at them. It feels like my whole mind is in the dark. But Shui Jin can look directly into his eyes. I set up the temple of heaven and earth again. Only people with virtue can enter it. Its functions are in charge of the internal affairs of the village's people's livelihood. For the time being, Huang Lao will be in charge of it, and he will be in charge of the temple of heaven. Planning and management of the village, I hope that all those who enter Tian Hall will truly seek for the well-being of the people and the better talents for the construction of Xuanwang village. Quote. Qi Yishanxing said again, Shantian Hall is like the bureaucracy of the secular dynasty. He naturally hopes to enter it with virtues. Only by gathering a large number of talents can the entire village function better. Yes, Lord, Shang Huang Chengyan nodded confidently and agreed. In the Xuanwang village today, he asked himself for his position. In order to cultivate Confucianism and Taoism, you must grow quickly, manage one side, and cultivate one's family to govern the country and the world. Can make their own Confucianism and Taoism deeper. In this regard, he will naturally not have any hesitation. Also, I plan to build the Heavenly Medicine Hall, gather a large number of Xinglan masters, exchange medical skills, and introduce new ideas. There are alchemists among the monks. I hope the Heavenly Medicine Hall can also find the method of alchemy. There are all kinds of bizarre elixir, and the way of traditional Chinese medicine has already involved the method of elixir. Dr. Chu, Dr. Wang, you belong to the Temple of Heavenly Medicine, recruit all masters of Xinglan who are skilled in medicine. Study medicine together and help the villagers. Quote. Qi Yishanxing said again, yes, Lord, we will never live up to the trust of the Lord. Chu Weiming and Wang Fengxian looked at each other with a flash of excitement. Since becoming monks, they have been discussing whether they can make the legendary elixir. In fact, they do not know anything about elixir. In fact, they have also refined it. Of course, they are not. The real elixir is just a variety of medicinal materials, smelted with fire, and then rolled into pills. Seriously speaking, can only be regarded as elixir, but as far as refining elixir, has taken the first step. They believe that as long as you keep researching and experimenting, there are plenty of herbs for them to practice. Sooner or later, real elixir can be refined. After all, elixir, the most fundamental, cannot be separated from the knowledge of medicinal materials. Their knowledge is already quite strong. Yi Tianxing is also full of expectations. In fact, there are many alchemists, and their familiarity with medicinal materials may not be better than Chu Weiming. As long as they find the know-how of alchemy, the refined elixir is better than those not inferior. Moreover, in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, there is a basic sutra, which is a perfect step for them to become alchemists. And Lai, I'm going to build a food hall. You will be responsible for bringing some of the chefs in the village into the food hall. Now the food in the village will be arranged by you. Although you eat big pot rice, but many ingredients are fierce beast meat, which contains rich nutrition and essence, and reasonable cooking can keep the essence of the meat. In the future, to promote the cuisine, you need to work hard. Quote. Yi Yixing looked to Lai He. He also attaches great importance to Lai He, and the importance of food to him is absolutely extremely important. As long as there is a steady stream of cuisine, the power of the physical body can continue to increase. The establishment of the gourmet restaurant was also for his own benefit. Yes, Lord, I will definitely cook more delicious food. Lai He's eyes were bright for a while, and the chef also received such attention. It was unprecedented. And I plan to build a merit hall to record merit and give merit points. I can enter and leave the Tibetan pavilion and exchange various treasures. When Yi Yixing was about to continue talking, he suddenly changed his face and stopped. My heart was instantly immersed in the space of Lingju. This pause caused Huang Chengyan's attention. Although he was puzzled, he didn't interrupt it, because Yi Tianxing's look was clearly placed elsewhere, and he was in a state of being astounded. It turned out to be completely transformed at this time. In the space of spirit beads, we can see that the crystal ball is constantly blooming with silky brilliance. In the brilliance, it seems that I can see countless small runes that constantly shuttle and change like a puppet. It seems, following a torrent of mysterious data, it forms a wonderful rhyme. Mysterious, so that if you look at it more, you will feel that your whole heart is being pulled in. In the crystal ball, it seems that you can see the vast void and boundlessness. See who countless runes seem to contain a unique spirituality, and the arrangement of the runes seems to have a strange law in them. It seems to be numerous, but it seems to be strangely connected together. Brush. Guang Mang, a light flashed. I only saw that in the confluence of countless runes, a little girl, only 2 or 3 years old, was weird in this void, and this little girl was covered with a layer of starlight, gorgeous and colorful. Mysterious. Father. In the crystal ball, the little girl suddenly looked up at the void, and spit out a somewhat stiff voice. Alas, the heart that almost scared Yi Tianxing was shaking. He is still single now. How could he be called a father? When did he become a happy father? Is there anything wrong? The entire head was blanked subconsciously. You calling me? Yi Yixing responded with a heart. Yes, father, the little girl said expressionlessly. Before the true spirit crystal ball instrument spirit and foreign biological sub-chips clashed, swallowed and invaded each other, and collapsed at the same time. Due to chaos, the true spirit crystal ball gave birth to the true spirit again. During pregnancy, the father's essence blood drips in, and in the essence blood, he draws a piece of genetic data belonging to the father. On the veins, you are my father. I am your daughter. Quote. Without hesitation, the little girl quickly told the whole story. Originally, a new true spirit will be born in the true spirit crystal ball. As long as it comes out, it is naturally a new true spirit. At that time, if you shed blood to recognize the Lord, you will naturally complete the recognition of the Lord, but it has not yet been fully bred and is in a fusion. During the incubation process, Yi Tianxing's essence and blood were incorporated. The ultimate result is the true spirit now, almost the same as the blood of his birth. Therefore, he was called his father at the beginning. Is there anything wrong? So that's fine. Wu Yixing had a feeling of crying and laughing, but when he saw the little girl appearing in the void in the crystal ball, a closeness from the blood veins indeed proved that this was really his own daughter. A daughter born under special circumstances. Is there a name? Wu Yixing took a deep breath, although it felt a little weird, but his closeness still made him have to accept it. Now that it has happened, and it has become a fact, there is nothing to deny. Just generously accept it. Looking at the little girl in the crystal ball, there was a touch of softness in her eyes. His family experience is not good. The memories of being abandoned as a child will still come to mind from time to time. Had it not been adopted by Zhao's father, Zhao's mother, he would not know what it would look like today. Maybe ignore the whole world. I looked at the little girl, and there was an unclear feeling in my heart. No, please give my father a name. There was a touch of anticipation in the little girl's stiff voice. Obviously, she is not without feelings. www.novelhall.com, the stars are shining on you. I hope you will be as bright as the stars in the future, as vast as the sky. In the future it's called Xinghai and Yi Xinghai. After Yi Tianxing groaned slightly, he slowly said, "Thank you for your father's name, I will be Yi Xinghai in the future." A touch of agitation appeared in Xuanhai's eyes. However, they disappeared immediately. "Xing'er, what is the situation with you now?" Yi Tianxing can see that she is not very normal now, and her spirituality seems to be greatly suppressed. Rigid like a program, this is obviously abnormal for a true spirit. Xinghai was born from the fusion of the original true spirit and the biological sub-chip of the true spirit crystal ball. Therefore, a strange mutation has occurred, which not only gives me the characteristics of magic weapon spirit, but also the powerful computing aid ability of the biological chip. Like my father, the artificial intelligence of the original era. However, I was not composed of programs, but was bred from data and runes. Although it is the true spirit, it has the intelligence ability. And it can be replaced by the runes in spiritual civilization. Quote, "If the brain can store data messages, it is also possible to practice civilization. Monks have messengers to store messages. If they keep images, monks can make photostones and echo snails. In the process of incubation, runes are used instead of procedures. Now the true spirit crystal ball has changed into a unique treasure, a unique existence in the eternal continent." Quote, "But I'm too weak, keep running, emotions will be suppressed, need to grow before they can be released, and grow up slowly like normal humans." To be continued. Chapter 110, Star Network. Recommended subscription. Obviously, the situation of Xinghai is still in a new state. She has the ability to operate like a brain, but has also greatly suppressed her emotions, and even said that this is a kind of influence after merging with the biochip. I'm afraid that even if I grow up in the future, this kind of rigidity may turn into cold. However, emotions should not be affected. The instrumental spirits bred by the maggots themselves are actually no different from the ordinary spirits. "Xing'er, what ability do you have now?" Yi Yixing took a deep breath and asked. "Father, I have the ability to store information and perform fast calculations to connect with the real spirit. For example, my father's Tibetan scripture hall in Xuanwang village, Xinghai can connect with the true spirit of the Tibetan scripture hall. Moreover, I can use the media to build the ethereal Skynet covers the entire Xuanwang village. I can integrate into the Qian Tianqi. Fusion with Qian Tianqi. Qian can exist in any area covered by Qian. Like the signal tower before my father's cataclysm, but it's not a normal signal, it's a spiritual wave." Quote. Ping Xinghai quickly told her ability again. Its ability is not any ability to attack. After the mutation, she seems to have completely become a center, a divine existence like a signal tower. Moreover, the strange waves that are emitted are directly transmitted to the true spirit. Such waves are very difficult to shield. It is passed from the air transport, using the air transport as the medium, the area covered by the air transport is the area covered by its signal. But other than that, there is no other action that can be made, it is really a special network. She is a center of signal operation. Really, the development of the entire Xuanwang village can definitely change dramatically. Xinghai, if you are incorporated into the intake Yuntianqi, will you be able to radiate power to the entire Xuanwang village immediately? Monitor the situation in the entire village. Inspect the development of various things. Qi Yishanxing immediately asked. "No, I can only use Qian Tianqi to spread the signal to the entire village. But I cannot monitor other people. The true spirit in each living being is independent, and no one can attack the other true spirit silently. It's like before the cataclysm, there were the internet and the local area network. The true spirit of each person was a separate and independent local area network. They could not be easily snooped. They could refuse to accept the signals I sent." Quote. Moreover, Xinghai can only exist in this crystal ball, and the true spirit cannot escape. It can't spy on the outside world. It can only be stored and operated, becoming a network-like existence. Now it can only accept ordinary data operations. There must be media. Quote. Xinghai said stiffly. Her true spirit is unable to leave the crystal ball. It can only passively receive messages from the outside, store them, or perform calculations. This is a network hub. Just like the internet before the cataclysm, there is no need to lay signal towers, no fiber optic cables, and the entire Xuanwang village can be covered by Qian Tianqi. Such a network is now sufficient to make a lot of incredible changes. Quote. Qi Yishanxing was not disappointed by this, but gave a strong joy. Yi Dan, once this invisible network appears, the reaction it produces is absolutely subversive. According to legend, in the Western magic civilization, the magic net can be born. Has incredible abilities. Although the current Xinghai is far worse, it has the same potential. Just this kind of network that can cover the formation can bring many things to another incredible level. Magic can invent various magic products, alchemy items. Immortal magic lamp, powerful magic crystal cannon. In fact, magic is not much different from Eastern spells. It's just different. There are many magical spells and magical powers in practice. Once they are used in daily life and researched and transformed, they will produce incredible chemical reactions. There is no Xinghai, the development of the entire Xuanwang village can only be carried out a little bit, even the slightly advanced idea cannot be realized. But now it is different. There is Xinghai. Once the network is completed, everything will be different. Xinger, now this crystal ball is no longer suitable for the true spirit crystal ball. Since it has mutated and became a unique treasure between heaven and earth, it will be called Xingwang. Hope that one day, you can cover the starry sky and sea. I hope you can stay with me, and sooner or later I will let you get real body. Quote. Yi Yishanxing had a certain heart, and quickly said. Xinghai will always assist his father. Zan Xinghai's eyes flashed a wave, and then he said, Father, if you want to accept the touch of the star web, you must refine the corresponding medium. In the medium, you must incorporate this inscription. When the words fell, a starlight burst out and instantly fell into Yi Tianxing's mind. This rune is the key to touching the star network. Only with this rune can we create a real medium. Okay, I will take you into Yuntianqi in a moment. At that time, you need Xinger to assist you. Yi Tianxing was overjoyed in his heart, no hesitation, and he moved his mind from the space of spirit beads. The income was returned. The existence of Xingwang is definitely a stronghold card. As long as the bottom is not exposed, it is impossible for ordinary people to imagine the existence of Xingwang. The most important thing is that the real strength of Xingwang cannot be leaked easily. After the recovery of his mind, he quickly glanced around and found the doubtful eyes of the people in the lobby. He smiled and said, It's all right, I just suddenly thought of something. I accidentally got out of my mind, now we continue. The merit points in the merit hall will be used as a reward for everyone. Although the amount is not too much, as long as you make a significant contribution, you can get merit points. Now that you have not minted coins, you can only replace them with merit points temporarily. After the coins are minted in the future, the points of merit will still exist and will be issued as part of Lulu. Quote. I have a strange treasure in my hand, which can be used for statistics, management, and merit points. Yi Yixing said quickly, Hey, there is another treasure. I heard this. Even Huang Chengyan showed a touch of expectation, the magic of Yi Bao, he saw it with his own eyes. Who doesn't know that any piece of exotic treasure can be called a rare rarity? Has incredible magical powers. I don't know what the different treasures are this time, but I can count the merit points. Dare to ask the protagonist, I don't know what kind of strange treasure can have such a wonderful effect. Huang Chengyan first asked. Understanding the new treasures, we can better manage Xuanwang village. That strange treasure is called the True Spirit Crystal Ball. It is the strange treasure presented by Qian Shaojia before. This strange treasure can store various information data, such as the statistics of merit points. No special staff is needed to go there. All calculations can be handed over to the True Spirit Crystal Ball for statistics and records. You only need to enter your own information in it, and you can create a complete file belonging to yourself. It is more convenient and faster than using books to record. However, you need a medium to communicate with it. Make a connection. Quote. Next, I plan to first create the medium that connects the crystal ball of the true spirit. In this way, the star network can be formed by the true crystal ball. This is faster and more secure than any message transmission. Free up manpower. There is no need to waste a lot of human resources for this. Quote. Yi Tianxing did not say that the true crystal ball had been mutated, and still preached with the true crystal ball. If anyone wants to target in the future, he will use the true crystal ball to develop the plan. I don't know it all. Has transformed into a star network. It is a brand new exotic treasure. Maybe it can play an unexpected role. The practice of the whole people requires innovation. How can everything be the same as the world? It's incredible that there are such treasures. Huang Chengyan's eyes flashed. He already felt that the original worldview was being subverted almost every day. This new world is a new era. This is the age of spiritual practice. Any miracle can happen. Alas, he also readily accepted. There is nothing in this world that will not appear. Moreover, he immediately thought that if the true spirit crystal ball could actually store data and derive data, it would have an incredible catalyst for the entire Xuanwang village and the development of the village. Well, this time we built the military pavilion, Tiangong Pavilion, Tianji Hall, 6 doors, Gourmet Hall, www.novelhall.com, Wanbao Hall, Tian Hall, Tianyi Hall, Gong Hall. Together again it is 1 gate, 2 pavilions, and 6 halls. They jointly manage Xuanwang Village. I hope to work with you to build Xuanwang Village, which belongs to us. Yi Tianxing stood up and said, Tiangong will be established by the next time. 1 gate, 2 pavilions, and 6 halls, Palace Hall. Today, with tens of thousands of people, the village must be expanded, and the east side must be redivided to build a military and political building with 2 gates and 6 halls. The residential area is turned to the north. Quote, Yes, Lord, Hu Bin heard and immediately nodded. Let's get ready and wait for the news to come out. Yi Tianxing nodded and said. This sentence also directly announced the end of this first formal discussion. Huang Chengyan also nodded and was quite satisfied with the deliberations this time. With all the breaks in Xuanwang village, it is quite difficult to achieve this level. The key is that there are still too few talents available already. You can only build the framework first, and then slowly fill the culture. After everyone left, Yi Tianxing looked at Cao Zhengchun who had not left yet, frowned slightly, and said, Cao Zhengchun, since you insist on following me, then you will take care of things in the mansion. Be the housekeeper first. Quote, I can only do this for a while for his arrangement. Release readers, interested ones can be added. 477123442 VIP Group. To be continued. Chapter 111, Lu Shi. Post readers, interested ones can be added. 477123442 VIP Group. Yes, Master. Cao Zhengchun bowed down and said, the old slave found a few palace men in the village. The mansion is so large that it needs manpower to take care of it. The old slave wants to take them into the house. I don't know what the owner's opinion is. Quote, during the visit in the village, he also noticed several **** eunuchs, and no one felt stronger than others of the same kind. Others couldn't feel it, but couldn't hide his eyes. Although they hide well, Cao Zhengchun can still see a strange feeling. You can tell at a glance. You are the steward, you are in charge. Yi Tianxing heard, looked at Cao Zhengchun, and slowly nodded. Yes, Master. Cao Zhengchun nodded and then left quickly, apparently, to find the palace men. After seeing Cao Zhengchun's departure, Yi Tianxing thought suddenly, his body disappeared in the lobby naturally, and entered the space of Qi and Tianqi. In the village, Hu Bin walked happily through the crowd, and soon came to a house. Inside the house, you can see that there are all kinds of wood everywhere, there are already made furniture, and even some carved wood carvings. Those wood carvings are vivid, seemingly exquisite, 3 points into the wood. Whether it is a bird or a beast, it is very similar. In the house, an old man was carving on a wooden sign with a carving knife, marking out mysterious textures. Moreover, this inscription is not a simple inscription. There is a sense of authenticity on the upper part, and the speed of carving the knife is not slow. Each time the knife goes down, the authenticity naturally remains in the knife marks, and the knife marks are intertwined, naturally forming a mysterious rune. Brush. When the last knife went down, I immediately saw that the knife marks originally engraved on the wooden sign began to bloom at the same time. All the knife marks came together strangely and became a whole, so that the entire wooden card appeared. A layer of aura naturally absorbed the vitality of the world and inject it into the wooden sign, so that the entire wooden sign will undergo a wonderful transformation. Successful. The old man saw an excited shout in his mouth. Master Lu, you finally succeeded. You really engraved the rune on the wooden sign to create a rune. Hu Bin saw with great joy on his face and quickly congratulated. He looked very respectfully and treated him with respect. Well, I have failed so many times and finally counted as a success. This world is really wonderful. This is interesting. The original cultivation lies in Shanghai. Rebuilding it again can completely dispel my injuries and repair my original spirit. In order to condense, the true Dan is sealed in the body. Today, cultivation can reach 1,000 miles a day. Quote, it turns out that there are magic and rune secrets in the monks. The typing rune sutra that I got is said to have been derived from the Book of Peace. There are many types of runes. If it was before, I would only consider it a Taoist priest fooling the people's ghost paintings. Now it seems that this is true, this calligraphy is really effective. However, to describe the calligraphy, you can not only use yellow paper cinnabar, but you can also use other things. I engraved with a carving knife, with anger injecting the knife marks, as long as the speed is fast enough, and before the vitality in the knife marks is completely dissipated, complete the inscription of Fulu, and Fulu can complete, merge into one body, absorb the vitality of the world, and become a complete Fulu. Quote. The old man, who is called Lu Shi, has a childlike look on his face. It seems that there is a certain middle-aged figure, with unspeakable flashes in his eyes. Looking at the wooden sign that has become completely different in front of him, this can already be said is one real rune. He portrayed evil charms and drew the light of heaven and earth and the power of the sun in the amulets. Let Fuyu have a certain resistance to evil and ghosts. The fundamental power of this rune is to draw the power of the sun between the heavens and the earth into the wooden sign, flooding every inch of the wooden sign. Fu Shuan is true, then it can be applied to all kinds of objects. If it is engraved with Fu Zan on the organ, it should make the organ more peculiar. It is possible to inscribe Fu Shuan on the battle arrow and shoot it out. A more powerful lethality erupted. Does the inscription of a defensive rune on the house make the house have a strong defense ability and it is difficult to be destroyed? Quote. Lu Shi murmured in his mouth, and flashed countless thoughts in his eyes. His thinking is not limited to simple organs, Fuyu, but has already thought of what amazing power will be produced by combining Fuyu with other objects. As long as he thinks about it, he can't maintain his inner excitement and impulse, and can't wait to start making it immediately. However, his mental will is extraordinary. Taking a deep breath, suppressing the thoughts in my head, watching Hu Bin, nodding his head and nodding, Hu Bin, this time the village chief is looking for you, are you going to open the government? There was a hint of wisdom in his eyes. Lu Shui's eyes are unparalleled. This time, the principal not only found me, but also a lot of craftsmen. The major talents in the village gathered together to discuss the establishment of the government, and they have identified 2 halls and 6 halls. Manage and build Xuanwang village. Today, the villain has been assigned to the Tiangong Pavilion by the principal, responsible for the construction of various buildings and the manufacture of various tools. Quote. Hu Bin reverently stated what he heard during the discussion. There is nothing secretive in itself. 1 door, 2 cabinets and 6 halls. This is to redivide some of the institutions and departments in the original dynasty, with refinement and simplification. This is to create a management system suitable for monks. However, his approach is to make the entire Xuanwang village become a practice for the whole people. Everyone is a monk. Ordinary institutions are no longer suitable. However, this should only be an attempt. However, the timing of choice is extremely appropriate. Lu Shi heard, nodding his head, his eyes flashed. Obviously, at this time the establishment of the government was very much in favor. Xuanwang village is still small, and all the rules no longer exist. It has been considered to have broken all the original bottles and cans. Based on the ruins, a new building can be rebuilt. It can be carried out at will without any impact. With pattern. Even if there is something wrong, Yi Tianxing's ability can be broken and corrected again. Any system is slowly being tested. A little bit perfect in the attempt. The sooner the system is established, the greater the benefit for the future. With 2 doors and 6 halls, he can be sure that it will definitely not be the final force structure in the future, it may be deleted or it may be increased. This is a pioneering trend. This Xuanwang village has talents, not only Yi Tianxing, but Huang Chengyan is also a talent. Teacher Lu has seen Huang Chengyan, and even witnessed himself from the old man, he had a cultivation practice overnight. Moreover, the cultivation was very exquisite. He has been to the Tibetan scripture pavilion, and he has also read The Record of the Heart of the Blue Blood, Confucianism and Taoism, relying solely on his own talents, and his talents can grow rapidly. He can see that by growing his practice overnight. He has talent. Master Lu, you are exceptionally intelligent, with great talents, martial arts, medicine, organs, yijing, astronomy, horticulture, architecture, woodworking, sculpture, art of warfare, gambling and many other talents. All are omnipotent. If you are willing to go out of the mountains, heaven no one is qualified except Gonglu, Master Gongge. You can see the change in Xuanwang village, Master Lu, and the protagonist is definitely worthy of loyalty. Master Lu, you can help the protagonist. Quote. Hu Bin bowed down and shouted. He was too clear that the Master Lu in front of him was just an all-rounder, and all kinds of skills had reached the point of being incomprehensible. Just give him some pointers, and let him open his mind. The respect in his heart was beyond recognition. But I have been staying in the room all the time, studying the typing fujing. I didn't dare to disturb it before. Now I saw that the research was still successful, and I begged. Once Lu Shi enters Tiangong, it will definitely make Tiangong amazingly transformed. Can make greater contributions to the development of Xuanwang village. Well, I will go to the Heavenly Pavilion, but for the time being, there are many peculiar runes in the typing runjing, and I will continue to study. Without any results, where can I steal the high position? Lu Shi heard it and shook his head. He also has pride. This spirit makes it impossible for him to occupy a high place for no reason. He wants to truly make a treasure, combine the amulet and the skill, and create new things. At that time, he naturally refused to let go. In this big age, he looks forward to it. Yes, Master Lu. When Hu Bin heard it, he could only nod in agreement, and at the same time, his eyes showed expectations. These aside, after the conclusion of the proceedings, Huang Chengyan has let people start posting notices. On it was written the news of a 2-tower, 6-room palace built in Xuanwang village. The news spread instantly among the people like a bomb. There was a lot of discussion. Yu reading www.yuekanshu.com. The village head is officially starting to build a framework of influence, the same as the previous government. However, there are also differences. There is even a Wanbao hall, and it is still controlled by businessmen. It is similar to the previous households, and it is all about managing money and food. But, can Shang Jia really do this well? He won't guard against theft. Quote. Tiangong, it's great. The village head is really different from everyone else. He attaches so much importance to our craftsmen. I want to join Tiangong. We can also contribute to the village construction. Tianyi Dian, I know how to treat medicine. I also want to join Tianyi Dian to help the villagers in the village to save people. I found that with the practice and aftermath, the effect of acupuncture is better than before. 100 times. Quote. Many people are excited. I felt that my talents were valued, and it wasn't a sloppy job that could not get on the table. A strong impulse for a confidant to die, blood boiled, and a career wanted to be done. This kind of influence is very huge and directly stimulates the enthusiasm of the people in the village. To be continued. Chapter 112, Victim. Post readers, interested ones can be added. 477-12342 VIP group. Many people are aware that with the establishment of a 2-door, 6-story hall, the strength of the entire village will be coordinated and planned once, bringing together all kinds of forces and bringing them into one direction. This is even better than before. Higher efficiency. Many people who feel that they are not pregnant have the urge to rub their hands. Some scholars even feel the opportunity is here. There are few reading people in the village, and they have the greatest opportunity. There are 2 doors and 6 halls. Once established, it will definitely require a lot of manpower. In particular, internal organizations such as Tianji Hall and Tiand Hall will definitely require a large number of scholars. At this point, they naturally have a lot of advantages. And some people who have experienced catching fast will focus on the 6 doors. Once the 6 doors are established, the recruiting will definitely not be less. With the original experience, they have a greater chance. Fortune Tianqi. Yi Tianxing naturally appeared beside Qian Tianqi. Looking at Tianqi, the layers of gray pool water had covered 1/3 of the height of Tianqi, and it was already 1 meter deep. The water in the pond is much more than before. Moreover, in the eyes of the spring at the bottom of the pond, new springs are pouring out almost every moment. This is luck. Once the luck has filled Tianqi, it is time for the village to be promoted. The lucky gold carp was swimming comfortably in the pool. The more water in the pool, the more space it swims, bathing in the pool, it is growing, and now it can be seen that it is bigger than before after swallowing the spirit of luck in the ogre camp. Swimming at that time, the golden light on the gold scale was flickering. Very divine and spiritual. After seeing Yi Tianxing appear, he suddenly jumped out of the water and spit out a bubble towards him. A look of joy flashed in his eyes. The tail swayed and splashed with layers of water. Take care of yourself here. This mouth of Tianqi is definitely not your limit. In the future your world will be the vast sky outside. This time I will bring you a friend. This is my daughter. You cannot bully her. Yi Tianxing said to Qian Jinli with a smile. The pool of water in Tianqi has increased too much compared to before. This was caused by the sudden increase in population. Coupled with the system of confirmation, the development of Xuanwang village was officially put on track. Therefore, the pool of water in Tianqi appeared the skyrocketing population as luck. With the population, there is luck, and peace of mind means that luck is born by itself, and the springs in Tianqi will continuously produce spring water. This process is a long stream of water. As long as the human heart remains unchanged, it can continue to be born. The flash of light in the hand, the star net like the crystal ball has appeared in the hand. Inside, Xinghai still stood silently with eyes closed. Xinghai, I now put the star net into Yuntianqi. From then on, you will merge with Qi and Tianqi. Wherever Xuanwang village's air transport covers, you can radiate the star net. Yi Tianxing pairs said in the hand of the star network. Yes, father, Xinghai responded. Brush. Xingwang fell directly into Qi and Tianqi. This entry was instantly submerged into the gray pool water. It can be seen that from Tianqi, a gray pool of water penetrated into the crystal ball. This penetration is a natural process. Xinghai did not stop. Over time, the crystal ball seems to be directly integrated into Tianqi, creating a mysterious connection with Qi and Tianqi, followed by bright stars that bloom from the star network. Also integrated into Qi and Tianqi, a strange rhythm covered the entire Xuanwang village. This rhythm is invisible. This is in the Qi transport, which exists within the sphere of influence of Xuanwang village. It's just that nobody notices it if no one touches it. Only through the media can we reach the star network. In this silence, an invisible star network has covered Xuanwang village. Wow! Qian Jinli saw that he was chasing towards Xingwang full of joy, playing around Xingwang, not spit out a golden light into the starnet. Xingwang was swimming in Tianqi from time to time, and Jinli followed suit. It looks very interesting. Father, Xingwang has radiated the entire area of Xuanwang Kunqian. As long as the corresponding media is created, it can be connected to Xingwang. I can help my father store and operate various data. Xinghai said, I will refine the media as soon as possible. I still have a treasure in my hand. As long as I can produce a sample, I can quickly copy it. And I already have a general idea of the media. I will make it like the ID card. The destiny card of each person. Each person's identity information will be recorded in the star network through a destiny card. The destiny card will be bound to everyone and the blood will be used to recognize the Lord. It must not only indicate the identity information of the other party, but also have the same ability as a bank card. It can store merit points, and all merit points can be directly distributed to the destiny card. You can view the deeds you have directly through the destiny card. Point, you can carry out direct transfers and trade merit points. I believe that you should be able to do these things with Xinghai. Quote. There was a touch of light in Yi Tianxing's eyes, and he did not hesitate to say his imagination. Really can do it. The system of merit points can be really implemented, and it will be feasible. No one can control a perfect system. To ensure the operation of the system of merit points. Unless it can invade Starnet. Affect Xinghai. As long as you enter the Tianji temple to register messages, all messages can be directly entered into the star network. The security and update of messages can be completed in the first time. Yes, father, these Xinghai can do it. As long as they record their messages into the Xingwang, they can directly operate the merit system. Xinghai said confidently. It was not difficult for her. But to make such a card, obviously, it is not a simple matter. Well, Xinghai, I will come to see you often in the future. You control everything else. Did not stay in Qi and Tianqi anymore. After instructing him, he turned away. He has to find a way to complete the creation of the destiny card. Not to mention that Xuanwang village was caused by the establishment of the government, which caused a wave of waves and inspired the enthusiasm of a large number of people, but said that in the Huns camp near the valley. The Hun soldiers are still driving the Washa men to do hard labor. Anyone who moves slowly will be whipped and screamed constantly. Some people are working directly, they can't afford to fall to the ground, and they are all bruised. Unconsciously, it was almost evening, in the interval of rest. Large numbers of coolies were gathered together. The two previously conspired together. Victory, I have contacted some good guys. Everyone is very dissatisfied with the situation in front of them. They all know that if they continue to be in the hands of these Huns, they will definitely not be able to escape the killing. They are willing to raise things together. As long as they reach the stage, they can echo around, said the capable man. Guang, I have explored the route around. This Hun camp is surrounded by a fence and there is only one entrance. But the entrance cannot go. The place is heavily guarded and is an important area of their attention. However, the fence wall is what we built. In the southeast position, I can leave a sip. As long as I apply force, I can open a gap. Rush out together, the resolute man whispered. Okay, great, as long as you can rush out, this barracks will be chaotic. It will be hard to catch us again. However, we need a righteous devotion to bring poison into the diet of those Huns. And we cannot receive doubts that we cannot get close to the drinking and diet of those Huns. The Huns are not fools. How could they bring a group of slaves close to the source of their food and water? There is only one kind of person who can approach the diet, and that is the dead. The Xiongnu people regarded them as two-legged sheep, and they were not wasted when they died. They were cooked and eaten. Moreover, it was cooked by a large group of people. Treated by them as good food, many people will taste a piece and drink soup. I have already discussed this with a righteous man. And, I have brought it over. Wu Guang said, pulled a fat man from one side. The fat man saw it out. www.novelhall.com. In the past, his family was good and his flesh was very tender. But now, it is a wolf howling, a face of a cricket, a lot of whip marks on the body. But there is a strong hatred in the eyes. The righteous man is Wang Kai. His sister was killed by the Huns in the barracks and was eaten as a two-legged sheep. After knowing our plan, he took the initiative to find me and willingly became a victim. Wu Guang said. Victory, I don't plan to live anymore. If I continue this way, I will definitely not be able to hold on. I have never done such hard work before. If it were not supported by a thought of revenge, I would not be able to hold on today. On the ground, I can't get up anymore. I want revenge. I am the victim. I let them eat my meat, but I hope you can kill a few more aliens, avenge me, and avenge my sister. Eat me meat, I'm going to make them pay a painful price. Quote. Wang Kai said ruthlessly, well, Wang Yishi, rest assured, I will help you get revenge, all of us will remember your feat, and death is left and right, we must not let this group of aliens live better. As long as we have someone alive and killed, later we must make a monument for you and remember forever. We are alive from the life of Brother Wang. Chen Sheng nodded strongly. Give me the medicine, I will eat it, and I will go to the camp immediately. I will die. Right at night, they will start to make fire. When I die, they will be eaten. At that time, the medicine effect should be able to I play the best. I have a lot of meat, and there must be a lot of aliens eating it. It is more convenient for everyone to do things. Remember to avenge me. My name is Wang Kai. Quote. Wang Kai's fat face showed a savage look. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 113, you guys are bold. For subscription recommendation, 2 tickets with tickets. Although Wang Kai's body was shaking and his legs were shaking, this was just human nature. No matter who made the decision to die, or if he was eaten by a foreigner, there can be no fear. Wang Kai is also an ordinary person. He is just an ordinary fat man, even if he had a good family background, but he is going to die soon. This feeling is terrifying. Even so, his eyes remained firm. In this Hun camp, there is no way for him to continue to live, even if he is not the victim. When the riots, with his size and strength, there is no way to run far. Will be caught. He died right and left, and he hoped to send the Huns himself to to bring death. Although he was afraid, he didn't shake his mind. He would rather be eaten, and it would cost the Huns a bitter price. Wang Kai, your sacrifice will not be in vain. We will avenge you and kill a few more Xiongnu's. Wu Guang nodded. This is a sweat medicine secretly hidden by a few nominalists. Although other poisons are available, they are not colorless and tasteless. Only the sweat medicine cannot be detected. This time the sweat medicine is so huge that even hundreds or thousands of people will be overwhelmed. After you eat it, it will hit the camp immediately, and the medicine will be scattered. Your whole body. At that time, even if the Huns are fallen, they will be lethargic. They are weak. Quote. Speaking, take out a large amount of sweat medicine. Except for this, other poisons cannot be concealed from those Xiongnu's. Once they eat the poison, Wang Kai will be poisoned first, and the blood will turn black. Xiongnu's are not fools and will know that it is highly toxic. There is a ghost who can eat. And now this is a super sweat medicine. The medicine is absolutely powerful. I see. Give me the medicine. Wang Kai took a deep breath and took the medicine with a trembling hand. But his eyes were always firm, and he was not shaken by fear. It gradually began to get dim. Wang Kai swallowed the medicine packet into his mouth, and a moment of madness appeared in his eyes. A piece of red, staring at the nearby Huns, roaring, "Shuan, my King Kai Sao, your ancestors, Lao Su fight with you." 18 years later, a good man. Let Lao Su die. Wang Kai growled, and a series of crimson rushed directly to a nearby Hun's soldier. The soldier beat them with a whip during the day to urge labor. Wang Kai had completely exploded at this moment. Both eyes were blood red. All the potential in the body seemed to be stimulated. The body that was originally fat suddenly burst into unprecedented speed. It's almost astonishing. The Xiongnu soldier did not expect that Wang Kai would suddenly erupt at this time. Moreover, the speed was directly beyond the limits of the fat man. Surprised, he had no time to respond and was thrown to the ground by Wang Kai. Wang Kai has no weapons in his hands, but his teeth are the sharpest weapons. A bite of teeth, biting into the soldier's throat. Click. With this bite, the sound of a shattered throat could be heard, and the soldier screamed screams on the spot, and blood had spewed from his throat. There were unspeakable fears in his eyes. He never thought that when the two-legged sheep, who were originally docile, would become so cruel and so terrible. Being bitten in the throat, even if he struggled hard, Wang Kai could not let his mouth out. Huh, puff. But in the first time, I saw that several sharp arrows cut through the sky instantly, a tearing sound was heard in the air, and it was coldly shot into Wang Kai's body, his head, throat, back, and the key points everywhere. Arrows pierced. Blood flowers bloom. So brilliant, so bright. Damn two-legged sheep, dare to do such a thing, hit me, hit hard. A general of the Huns walked coldly and saw that Wang Kai had been shot, but the name under Wang Kai was shot. The soldier, too, was bitten through his throat and could not survive. His face became even colder, and he said loudly, "Come here, throw this two-legged sheep into the pot and cook it for me." Poppy. The Xiongnu soldiers held a leather whip and slammed violently at the slaves around them. Many people were flesh-skinned and blood dripping on the spot, which was shocking. Some people were killed alive and killed directly. Cruel smirks one by one. Among the women and children, a pair of bright eyes gathered all of them, but there were no other unnecessary movements, but their eyes were always paying attention to the surroundings. The body had begun to move slowly subconsciously, moving towards the edge. Wang Kai was stripped and thrown into the pot to cook. Moreover, the Huns around were obviously very angry at Wang Kai's violent killing. Everyone was anxious to eat a piece of meat, and the number of Huns swallowed was large. Although it was impossible for the entire Huns to eat it, most of the nearby Huns had eaten it. The night was getting darker. Next to the slave camp, the body of a famous Hun suddenly began to shake, his eyes seemed to be very heavy, he felt drowsy, and very tired. There are not a few soldiers in this situation, but it is not obvious in the dark and the fire. Some sober soldiers didn't pay much attention. Especially the soldiers who care for the slaves, most of them are drowsy and may pass out at any time. This point is unusually weird. At this moment, Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, who had been following the situation nearby, looked at each other at the same time, violently rushed directly to the nearby Xiongnu soldiers, quickly snatched the machete from those soldiers, and faced the violent two. The drowsy Hun soldiers were too late to react, and saw the flash of the sword, his head flying up in the air, and cut off on the spot. The blood rose into the sky. Chen Sheng stepped on the body of the Xiongnu and shouted, "Brothers! We were caught by these Xiongnu's and became slaves. We had to do hard work every day. We also had to resist fierce beasts. After death, we were eaten by these Xiongnu aliens. These Huns did not intend to give us a way to live. Being a slave here is dead, and fighting with these Huns is also dead. But there is still a chance to live. Quote, you guys, you have the courage. Kill out, even if it is dead, we have to kill two backs. Brothers, kill out together." Wu Guang shouted. "Kill out, these Huns have taken the sweat medicine, snatched their weapons, and killed them. We are not afraid of death. We are all dead, and we have to kill a Hun to back it up. Follow Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, we kill them. As long as they kill the barracks, don't even think of these Xiongnu's to find us. Kill them." Some good men who had been contacted by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang immediately responded immediately. Shouted loudly, rushed to the nearby Hun soldiers who were about to pass out, snatched weapons from them, and killed them directly. For a while, blood shone. Which of the people here is not grievances in their hearts, long anxious to find a way to escape, and now seeing some people take the lead, and, as the crowd gathered, they immediately responded and followed Yinghe. Without grabbing the weapon, he lifted the stick. Grab a hoe. Brothers, rush out with me. Chen Shengwu yelled out loud, rushing ahead, rushing towards the exit left before. A large group of people gathered quickly, and the sleepy Han soldiers were killed directly by angry people on the spot and strangled with hoes. Screaming again and again. Sisters, I want to rush out with me alive. This is our only chance to survive. Rush together. I saw only a dirty girl yelling in the women and children. Without hesitation, they ran towards Chen Sheng and Wu Guang. That speed is not slow at all. Almost as soon as Chen Sheng started, they started to run away. Obviously, it has been observed for a long time, and the escape route has been calculated. Rush out together, stay here, we will surely die, these Huns are not humans at all. Even if I am going to die, I will remain innocent in the world. I would rather die than be defiled by the Huns. Rush together. A wave broke out in the women and children. A large number of women and children also began to flee, hitting the camp. Don't underestimate women, women are more fierce than men. A key woman of several hundred caddies pounded a Xiongnu soldier directly to the ground, and bit and grabbed her fiercely. Like a madman. Woo-woo. The Xiongnu had already reacted, the horn sounded instantly, and a large number of soldiers rushed out of the tent, and saw the riots everywhere in the barracks, and some people directly lit the tent while in disorder. The fire started to erupt and spread. The sound of screams, kills, and collisions of weapons continued. There was chaos everywhere. The jerk, who dared to flee and killed my Xiongnu soldiers, was simply looking for death. Kill me, kill them all, this time the king doesn't need captives, I just need to see their corpses. I will catch him by himself, thousands of swords. Quote. Zuo Shanwang Lubao stepped out of his camp account and watched the fire spread everywhere, and his face was completely dark. A rage was about to blow out. I never expected. www.novelhall.com, a group of cowardly two-legged sheep dared to riot and escape. He also slayed the Hun soldiers. This was already challenging his limits. His eyes were cold as frost, and he looked coldly at the fleeing slaves. Ha! A sharp arrow continued to shoot out. The herdsmen of the Huns and horses were very proficient in bows and arrows. After receiving the order, they did not hesitate to start the killer. A sharp arrow penetrated the people's bodies instantly. Screamed. Some soldiers held the machete directly and quickly smashed past. But the fire was spreading in the barracks, which forced many Xiongnu's to fight the fire. There was a sense of chaos everywhere. The response of the Xiongnu was not unpleasant, but Chen Sheng and Wu Guang were equally well prepared. The escape route was already prepared. Most of the soldiers around him took the sweat medicine, and there was no way to stop it. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 114, Escape. For subscription recommendation, close black lens bracket. The barracks were opened directly. This is the exit, brothers, if you rush out, we will survive, and if we stay, we will wait for death and rush out together. Chen Sheng shouted. After rushing out, the mountains and plains are outside. Everyone can escape separately, and the chances of survival are greater. As long as they are not caught by the Huns, everyone wins. Kill them out, Wu Guang shouted. The gap has been opened. A large number of people's faces showed excitement, and they rushed out of the barracks along the gap together. Inside, there are a large number of women and children, and those women also have a strong desire to survive. No one wants to die. As long as they can live, no one will choose to die, but in this Hun's barracks, if you stay, it must be dead. Can't live at all. One after another desperately flees. Run, run, run. Escaped as quickly as possible and ran out of the barracks, the farther away from this Hun camp, the better. As long as you run out, you have a chance to survive. Everyone has only such an idea in mind, and escaped desperately. Guang, you take a group of people, I take a group of people, we flee separately. This way the chance of escape is greater. As long as we can escape, we will definitely have a day to meet again. Chen Sheng said to Wu Guang. Okay, let's go separately. As long as we can live in the future, we will definitely meet again. Wu Guang nodded and agreed. There is no opinion on this arrangement. Now if they go together, they are more likely to be pursued by the Huns. Escape separately, but can disperse the target, so that even if the Huns are chasing, it is impossible to put the strength together, it must be carried out separately. The Xiongnu's power was scattered, and even if he was caught up, he could desperately gain a few more chances. Moreover, not only will they lead people to flee separately, other people will also spontaneously form a team and flee. These people, to a certain extent, will become their smoke bombs. Disperse the Huns. Not to mention his cruelty, everyone has a chance to live. After rushing out, whether it is life or death, then all depends on their own luck. It is possible that luck will not be pursued, and luck may be bad. Anything is possible. There were tens of thousands of people who escaped, 2 of which were naturally led by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, as well as other small escape teams, who fled in panic in all directions. You can't let these 2-legged sheep run away. Kill, don't capture them, kill them all. Shoot with an arrow and dare to run away, all will die. Each 100 people are a team, and I will hunt these slaves separately. Don't live. However, the woman will catch me back. The one who will catch it. The Xiongnu's are an immediate ethnic group. Moreover, all of them here are elite. Even if they were killed by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, they were only part of it. A group of people were fighting the fire and some of them rushed out of the military camp. Started hunting. However, these Huns did not dare to ride horses. This is the night. It is night. The night is the most active period for the beasts. Once the beasts are alarmed, even the Xiongnu will suffer heavy losses. This is already a lesson. The cavalry is dispatched at night, it is just looking for death, and it will instantly attract a large number of fierce beasts. Of course, at night, both the fleeing people and the hunted-off Hun are equally dangerous in the night. But Chen Sheng and Wu Guang had no other choice. There is still a chance to escape. If you don't escape, you will die. How to choose is already obvious. Chase and escape, staged in the night. The fire was still spreading in the Huns. There is not much water nearby, and in the face of the blazing flames, it is impossible to extinguish it easily. It is even extremely difficult to control the spread of the fire. Only in the shortest time, various materials can be quickly isolated. Form a barrier. But in this case, most of the barracks will be destroyed once, and it is already a fact before them. Can't be reversed. A group of sheep dared to make such a big riot. Sure enough, these central plains have all been killed before, even if they become slaves, they must be tied with ropes. A group of cheap bones. Lu Bao looked coldly around the chaotic scene and sneered. People in the central plains cannot be overlooked. Among the human race, Yanwang blood is the most orthodox. Their civilization is the most brilliant and has a long history. Outstanding people have emerged endlessly. Now even in the Eternal Continent, the number of Huns is still not as good as those of the Central Plains. Even if they have the advantage, now the country, order, and all collapse, we will not be much worse. In the future, it is still unknown who will go down. Quote. The shaman appeared beside him and said slowly. The future must belong to our great Huns. Lu Bao said decisively and confidently. In Xuanwang village, replanning, and a 2-story house and 6 halls are all recruiting staff. Enhance each other's strengths. However, there are many things because Tianjin has not actually started registering household registration and counting the population. The village is still developing steadily. Yi Tianxing went directly to the Tibetan pavilion. Before coming to the basic rune, directly inherit this basic rune into my mind. There is naturally nothing too deep in this rune. All are simple basic runes. There are also methods of how to make a charm. It can be said that it is entirely for an ordinary monk to become a lowest order charmer. It is to teach monks how to draw runes. For some essentials, taboos, and issues that need attention when making runes. For the monks who have just entered the road of the charmer, this is absolutely simple and easy to understand. Flame rune, frozen rune, telegraph rune, rune, wind blade rune, sword rune. Look in your mind at the Fu run contained in the basic runes. Although it is only some of the simplest basic runes, the number of this runes is quite large. It can be called the basic runes, and it covers most of the most basic runes. In fact, if this basic amulet can be thoroughly researched, there is a complete opportunity to innovate and peek into the higher level of Fuyu. It is even possible to create a new rune with a single aura. The foundation is the most important. Without the foundation, everything is like a tower in the sky, and there are absolutely hidden dangers. Fuyu is rune. Rune is an overview of the laws of heaven and earth, a manifestation, and runes are road marks. Yes, change is in the law. Quote. However, these are far from me. All I need to know is the most basic runes. I want to use Xinguang as the core and as the center to create a unique system and civilization that belongs to my Xuanwang village. First of all, I need to start with the household registration. To say that in the entire Xuanwang village, everyone's essential items are household registration. Therefore, household registration is the most unchanged and most acceptable way. As long as the Tianji card is introduced, the entire Xuanwang village must have a manual card. Without it, it will be difficult to do so. Quote. A power is the most important for population statistics. If there are a large number of black households in your power that you do not know, it will become the source of unrest. This can be completely resolved at the beginning of the establishment of power, and for the future have inestimable benefits. Quote. However, there are several major difficulties in refining the card. The first is the material for refining the Tianji card. Ordinary materials are definitely not acceptable. Moreover, in the current village, there is a lack of materials, which is very scarce. This obviously cannot be made with ordinary materials. There is no way to cut through the materials. The power of this material must be available to Xuanwang village now. Quote. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. This problem is not a minor problem. If even the materials used to make the Tianji card cannot be guaranteed, it will naturally be difficult to promote it. Moreover, this Tianji card is owned by every villager in Xuanwang village. There is also the need to incorporate the phonetic symbols, overprints, sons and mothers in the basic rune, and the media runes that Xinghai passed to me. This process of refining can only be performed by me. Media runes, it is not easy to fake one's hand. To do this, I must first create a natural card. I will personally carry out these kinds of runes, and I must personally refine, and learn. And inscribed on the destiny card. As long as it can be completed, I can quickly make a large number of destiny cards. Quote. The problem was that he had to become a spell maker, www.novelhall.com, to personally inscribe the rune into the celestial card. This other person can't help, and can only rely on his own elusiveness. I haven't tried it before, and Yi Tianxing doesn't know if he has the talent to become a spellmaker. If not, this is a very troublesome thing. The time for refining the destiny card will go far behind. This is quite unfavorable for the fast-developing Xuanwang village. Xuanwang village is waiting to be abandoned, and everything starts from scratch. Starting from scratch also means that the infrastructure is incomplete. If it can solve the problem of the Tianji card, many things will become more convenient. However, the first question about materials, Yi Tianxing already had some ideas in his mind. The bones in the beast are no less inferior than any iron stones, and they are even harder than they are. They are even derived from spirit bones. These beast bones themselves contain a kind of spirituality, which contains part of the essence of the beasts. The materials made from animal bones can already be said to be not ordinary materials but spiritual materials. For the inscriptions, they are more perfect than ordinary materials. Quote. At the most critical point, there are a lot of animal bones. They can be obtained as long as they kill the beast. Moreover, they are inexhaustible and inexhaustible. They are continuously obtained without worrying about the depletion of materials. You just need to think of a way to temper the essence of these beast bones. Cast into responsive materials. Quote. The animal bone is the best material that Yi Tianxing can think of now, casting the most suitable material for the Tianji card. Aggregate, in many cases, is a treasure of the smelter. In particular, there is no need to use spirit bones for refining. Even ordinary beast bones contain the essence of fierce beasts. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 115. Skyfire Furnace. Please seek first. Recommend collection. Close black lens bracket. However, this requires finding ways to remelt the aggregate. To melt, you must have a furnace. There is a furnace in Yi Tianxing's hands. Among the different treasures captured before, there is a furnace. However, although this furnace is a different treasure, it is called Tianwo furnace. Once you reach the top, you can smelt all kinds of materials between heaven and earth, even those top gods Shenzhen can directly smelt. Its characteristics are amazing. Really want to grow up, this unique treasure is absolutely powerful. At least in smelting all kinds of geniuses, they are among the top treasures. But the problem is that this heavenly fire furnace needs fire, not ordinary fire, different fire, spiritual fire, real fire born from heaven and earth. If there is this kind of spiritual fire different from the heaven and earth, monks do not need to control it, they can smelt on their own. But the problem is, Yi Tianxing has a furnace in his hands, but there is no strange fire. In the furnace, there is only false fire. There is no way for the virtual fire to absorb the vitality of the earth and run by itself, and to smelt all kinds of materials. A monk must be constantly instilling the true qi in the process. In the process, there is no way to leave the monk. This is completely smelting by maintaining the fiery fire with his true energy. Moreover, the consumption of qi is also extremely great. It is not strong enough to support it for a long time. This causes great inconvenience. If a different kind of fire can be obtained, the entire skyfire furnace will undergo transformation. It will play a huge role in the development of Xuanwang village. However, now it can only be used to stimulate the virtual fire with its own vitality. Forging the bones should cost not too much. Infuriating. Quote. Yi Tianxing's eyes flickered and he murmured to himself. Without the skyfire furnace, he wouldn't have the confidence to craft a sky card. After all, it's not modern. There are various machines that can quickly make all kinds of articles. They are all electronic products and various substances are synthesized. Without sufficient preparation, he did not dare to say that he could make something beyond the ages such as the Tianji card. Go back and give it a try. See if it works. Yi Tianxing didn't hesitate. As soon as the thoughts in his mind came out, there was already an urge to start experimenting. If you don't try it yourself, you can think of it as much as possible. Back to the mansion, in the middle of the Fu, Cao Zhengchun has called for 3 people to take care of things in the Fu. Master, you are back. Cao Zhengchun had already ushered in and said. You immediately go outside to collect a batch of bones of the ferocious beast. If fresh animal bones are removed, Yi Tianxing said. How much is the master? Cao Zhengchun's eyes flashed and he asked respectfully. This was the first thing Yi Tianxing ordered, and he absolutely wanted to make it beautiful. It doesn't take much, you take care of it. Yi Tianxing said a calm look at him. Immediately after not giving him a chance to speak, he turned and walked in. Cao Zhengchun paused, and immediately walked out with 2 hands and 2 hands. Enter a specially prepared quiet room. With a wave of his heart, a wave of his hand, a melting furnace appeared in front of him. This furnace is very strange and looks similar to the furnace tripod, but it is higher than the furnace tripod and emits a red copper-like red light. There are mysterious textures changing on it, staggered with an ancient inscription of the stars, exuding a strong and simple atmosphere. Moreover, on the surface of the furnace, 9 lifelike dragon beasts emerged, which are exactly like the 9 sons of the dragon, prison cattle, crickets, mocking the wind, puao, crickets, hegemony, crickets, negative crickets, crickets. The 9 dragons are all headed outwards, and their bodies seem to be melting furnaces. Mouth is closed, but you can control the opening and closing at will. This dragon head is connected to the inside of the furnace. Once the material inside is completely smelted, it can be ejected along the 9 dragon heads. In particular, under the dragon head of the 9 sons of the dragon, there is a container respectively. These 9 containers can change continuously with the mind and become any shape. The smelted material can fall into it and solidify quickly, recondensed a new model. Very convenient. If you want, the mold of that container can be a ball or a rectangular brick. Do whatever you want. To a certain extent, it is very simple. With a break in my heart, I can naturally see that in this heavenly fire furnace, there is a virtual fire. This flame is not essential. It is like an illusion, like a cloud of smoke, it seems to dissipate at any time. Inside the furnace there seems to be a universe in it. In the furnace, there are countless ancient and mysterious Tao patterns. It is still a yellow-tiered treasure. However, this strange treasure bred from heaven and earth itself has extremely powerful evolution potential. As long as the corresponding conditions are met, the transformation can be completed and the promotion can be achieved. What should be needed is different fires, a large number of heaven and earth fires. The virtual fire in this tripod can be transformed into any merged fire. Quote. Yi Tianxing is also very satisfied with this skyfire furnace, which is definitely a rare treasure. It has an incredible ability to melt various materials. Refiners can use this furnace to smelt all kinds of natural treasures, so that materials that they could not previously smelt can easily be smelted. Do things beyond your own capabilities. Master, the bones you want have been retrieved. Cao Zhengchun led the two to speak outside the quiet room. "Come in," Yi Tianxing nodded in response. Entering the quiet room, as soon as Cao Zhengchun waved his hands, the two quickly put down two cloth bags, each of which contained a bag of bones. The weight of the bones of the beast was unclear. More than 100 pounds, but in the hands of the two, they did not feel the effort at all. After becoming monks, their power has gone far beyond. Objects that used to feel heavy are now only easy to lift. "Zhengchun, go to the craftsman in Tiangong and make a brush. The brush is made from the mouse hair left by the Golden Rat King. Also, cut the animal skin into the same size as a rune paper, and then take it. Some fresh beast blood, if it's hot, bring it here." Quote. Yi Tianxing glanced at the beast bone that was delivered, and nodded his head and said, "No suitable rune paper has been produced yet, but the skin of the beast can be replaced. The blood of the beast contains aura and can be used as cinnabar ink. Not worse than the best cinnabar, or even better. To embark on the path of the charm division, we cannot leave the process of practicing the charm. Even failure is perfectly normal. But without practice, failure is inevitable." "Yes, master." When Cao Zhengchun heard it, a flash of joy flashed in his eyes, and then he bowed out. When leaving, they naturally brought the door back on. "Try the power of this skyfire furnace." Reached out to lift a bag of animal bones, and poured the animal bones directly around the furnace. The skyfire furnace has no gaps. Even the furnace tripod of the furnace is sealed and integrated, without gaps. Place all the animal bones around the furnace. One hand was pressed on the furnace, and the real dragon's breath in the body was poured into the furnace instantly. Wow! With the infusing of the qi, the skyfire furnace flashed the red scarlet light instantly. The 9 dragon beasts opened their mouths and sucked in all directions. Suddenly, that one beast bone was directly taken by the dragon at an amazing speed. 9 suns swallowed it politely. 9 open mouths are connected to the terrible abyss. As soon as the animal bones approach, they quickly shrink, submerge into them, and disappear. But Yi Tianxing can feel that all the animal bones have entered the skyfire furnace. The entrance of this furnace is the big mouth of these 9 dragons. Once the mouth is closed, it will be completely sealed immediately. Melting animal bones. Yi Tianxing looked dignified, no longer hesitated, relying on the information previously obtained, pouring the dragon's vitality into the furnace a little bit. Brush. And with the injection of true air, immediately, I saw that the virtual fire in the furnace, as if Mars encountered fuel, immediately began to burn frantically. The virtual fire was completely ignited, and the fire soared, and the entire furnace was completely covered, in the furnace, into a world of flames. What's more, in the body of Yi Tianxing is the true dragon spirit, which is itself the most overbearing one. The virtual fire is motivated by the true dragon spirit, and the characteristics contained in the flame also become very overbearing. I only saw that the beast bones that appeared in the furnace began to melt at an alarming rate in the flames. The impurities in the beast bones instantly disappeared under the flames, quenched into nothingness, and even the residue of burning was left under. The power of that flame is overbearing. 1 animal bone was left, less than 1/10. The impurities were incinerated and all that remained was the essence of the bones. They melted at a rate that was visible to the naked eye into a drop of crystal-like jade-like liquid. But it is not a chalcedony. The bones of each animal melted, turned into liquid, and naturally came together. Smelting animal bones is not difficult for skyfire furnace. After a short time, it melted into a large group of crystal liquid. Come out. As soon as my heart moved, www.novelhall.com, I immediately saw that in the furnace, the prison cow of one of the 9 suns opened his mouth wide, dripping in the container below. The container was also under the control of the mind, and turned into a peculiar model, just like a beehive, with small slits. Liquid is injected into them, quickly filling those gaps. This container has the ability to rapidly solidify. As soon as the liquid enters it, it solidifies rapidly. The skyfire furnace's consumption of qi is really huge. For a short period of time, qi is consumed in a small part. With my cultivation, it will not be consumed for a long time. However, the qi of dragon the fire is fierce, and the power is far more fierce than usual. Quote. Released his hand from the furnace and muttered to himself. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 116. Chase into the valley. For subscription recommendation. Look at what the smelted bone essence condenses. What exactly is the plan for casting the Tianji card? It depends on this time. Yi Tianxing also secretly revealed his expectations. If even the problem of the material cannot be solved, the others are empty talk. No need to say anything. The material is the most important. Brush. All I saw was a large number of glittering cards flying out of the container. Landed on the ground. At a glance, I'm afraid there are hundreds of them. Its size is the same as that of the ID card before the previous cataclysm. Just slightly bigger. Holding a bone card in your hand, the touch is as warm as jade, and you can feel a touch of aura in it. Moreover, this card is full and has no bone softness, but is like fine iron. Heavy, held in my hands, there is a sense of weight. Ding! A slight bounce of the finger on it gave a crisp sound like jade and fine iron on the card, which was very pleasing to the ears, and the sound quality was very clear. Tough and not easily damaged. Crystal is jade, but also emit halo. Good stuff, it really works, and the idea of using bone material is really right. After the material is tempered, it contains a peculiar spirituality. The impurities in it have been tempered out, and it is completely made of the spiritual essence in the bones of animals. Cohesion. There is no problem at all in the power of carrying the runes. The bones of the beast can be continuously obtained from hunting and killing beasts. The source of the material can guarantee the supply. Quote, what we are looking at now is whether we can finish Fuyu's inscription in the shortest time. Otherwise, everything else is empty talk. When Yi Tianxing saw the bone cards appearing in front of him, he couldn't help but feel a joy. This is a solid first step. After refining these crystal cards, Cao Zhengchun has not yet returned, but it is already late at night. He passed by at most, just to carry on a message. To make it, he must wait until tomorrow. These things can't be rushed. Collect those crystal cards and put them back into the space of spirit beads. With my eyes closed, I immersed my mind in my mind again, while continuing to cultivate and warm Yang Yang Waimai, while secretly deducing the basic runes in my mind, and participating in the performance of those few runes. Keep observing and imagining, hoping that they can be directly imprinted on your mind in the shortest time. Only in this way can you achieve them in one go when drawing the symbols. Otherwise, if you draw a stroke and think of a stroke, you don't need to think about how to complete the runes. Runes are runes. They are drawn by their own energy to pull the heavens and earth into the world. Any pause will cause Fulu to fail completely. A little more and less aura in the writing will have different consequences. It even leads to failure. These are summarized in the basic rune scriptures, but how to grasp them requires a little bit of experience and understanding in the process of making the signs. Can't see from the book. The time passed quietly, and unknowingly, it was already approaching dawn. Roar. Outside the valley entrance, horrible beasts roared continuously, and even fierce killings spread. This was very normal in the past. Between beasts and monsters, they will continue to fight and crush, and they were targeted at humans before. That's because humans are too weak. Weak enough to be a piece of food near their mouths. Naturally, those monsters will join forces to attack humans first. Facing the strong and the weak, it is obvious that the weak are dealt with. This is the same as during the cataclysm. At that time, when a large number of monsters came, why did they stare at humans to hunt and kill? It is entirely because human beings are weak and vulnerable in the eyes of those monsters. Those beasts and monsters have a stronger sense of this. Therefore, it is natural to give priority to mankind, rather than kill the strong. This is an instinct from the blood. It was as if after the discovery of Xuanwang village, monsters would gather around and attack Xuanwang village directly, launching attacks, and repeated impacts existed. In this short time, the number of beasts who dare to hit the village has begun to decrease. This is the deterrent power that has been accumulated over and over again with the bodies of fierce beasts and monsters. Killing time and time again, all around Xuanwang village was filled with a strong evil spirit, which was not felt by others but could not hide the reaction of those beasts. Some low-level beasts are now afraid to approach the village easily. But now, in the roar of the beasts that appeared outside the valley, there was a strong excitement, an excitement of chasing prey. Run away, rush forward, there are too many monsters behind, and the Huns are chasing us behind. If they are caught back, I would rather die directly in the mouth of the ferocious beast than to be defiled by the Huns. It's better to fall. It's a group of beasts, which is worse than beasts. Beasts among beasts and animals. A woman's shout sounded. However, it can be heard that this woman has better senses of the ferocious beasts than the Huns, and is overtaken by the ferocious beasts. At best, she is killed, eaten, and the ferocious beasts eat people. There is nothing to blame. But in the hands of the Huns, that is not as good as death, and death is extremely miserable. Those aliens are not considered a person at all. Not worthy of being called human. You know, even if a dog accidentally eats dog meat, it will spit out and shed tears. Even the dogs know that they can't eat the same kind of meat, but the Huns are happy to eat human flesh. Cannibalism is sin. It is not sin for a ferocious beast to eat humans, and human beings are food for a ferocious beast. There is no sin in eating a beast. In the eyes of man, a beast is food. Cannibalism and innocence. Come on, let's get out of here quickly. I saw that there seems to be a valley in front. The entrance is in front. Flee into the valley. We might have a chance to survive. Someone shouted, run away, and quickly enter the valley. I can't run anymore. I would rather die under the ferocious beast than be captured by the Huns. My death should give you some time. A clutter of shouts kept ringing. That's human voice. However, it can be heard that these people are not in a good position. Still in a kind of escape. Outside the valley, just watching, a group of people were running forward, even if they were breathless in their mouths, but no one stopped easily, with fear in their eyes and excitement in their eyes. The number of people in this group is not large, only a few hundred people. Moreover, the roar of the beasts from behind kept on, with birds falling from the sky, catching a common person directly into the air, or even plunging directly from the sky. One person caught directly and was ripped in the air. Fragmented and even pecked. Even the brain was eaten. In the darkness, a pair of squinting eyes flashed with cold light, and flung a person who was behind a single order directly into the darkness, and after a scream came, there was no sound. That picture looks terrifying, and it makes people hear that there is a kind of coldness in my heart. A group of people saw the entrance to the valley with their eyes looking forward. Look, there's a fire in front. It's really a fire. It's a village. It's a big existence. I saw the city walls. There are humans in this valley. We have been saved. Great. We have been saved. Hurry up. Hurry to the village. We are saved. Quote. As soon as you cross the entrance area of the valley, you can immediately see the fire from the front in Xuanwang village. In Xuanwang village, the fire will never go out at night. Every once in a while, someone fills in firewood to prevent the fire from going out. On the city walls, there are still many soldiers in rotation. The soldiers are on duty in 3 shifts, and there is no shortage of human guards every moment. Moreover, with the monk's physique, even if you don't rest for a night, you won't feel too tired. As long as the call is issued, other soldiers will quickly come. Even the people in the village will spontaneously go to the wall to assist the defense. In the village, it can be called a soldier. The people from Yangjia village also started to practice in these 2 days. Even some talented people have stepped into the ranks of monks and become real monks, and their levels of life have been transformed. The great increase in strength brought about my strong self-confidence. The recognition of Xuanwang village is also unprecedented. Today, close to dawn, it is Wang Dahu, Feng Yumo and others who change defenses on the city walls. On the wooden wall, people can stand and they can walk on it, just like ordinary city walls. General Wang, look, there seems to be someone. Feng Yumo suddenly fixed his eyes and looked in the direction of the valley entrance, exclaimed. It's really human, it's human, and I saw it. Someone came here from the direction of the valley entrance. There are men and women. It looks like they are flustered one after another, as if something is chasing them behind. I heard roaring beasts, maybe they are chasing them. Where did these people come from? www.novelhall.com. I really don't know how to live until now, but it's dangerous everywhere and difficult to do, especially in the evening. They can run here. At this moment, Wang Dahu, they also saw the group of people. His expression was flustered, his clothes were ragged, and his face was pale. I knew at a glance that this journey was definitely not that easy. It must have encountered all kinds of dangers, and came on the edge of life and death. Open the village door, ring the alarm bell, and let the soldiers get up to the city wall as fast as possible. Feng Yumo, let you inform the host and tell the message here. Wang Dahu glared, and immediately responded at the fastest speed. In the style of the accident, a general's attitude has begun. Various orders, confident and decisive. Generals are not born, they are also cultivated the day after tomorrow. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 117, Wolves. Dang dang dang. The alarm bell hanging on the wooden wall was sounded instantly, and the sound spread directly throughout the village. He is already at a kind of dawn, and the people in the village have begun to wake up, and even some of them got up early. They have begun preparing firewood, increasing the fire, boiling water first, waiting for everyone to wake up. When the alarm bell rang, many people were awakened immediately. The number of houses in the village is not enough. In each house, several people live together. Of course, they live with the same sex, men live with men, women live with women. In this case, everyone has permission. The situation in the village is very clear. No one cares about it. Instead, everyone lives together, and they can talk together before going to bed. When encountering some problems during cultivation, they can discuss each other and solve the problems. Plutonium has a promoting effect on cultivation. Moreover, it can enhance the relationship between each other. This is one of the main reasons for the harmony in the village in a short period of time. Now, immediately after hearing the alarm bells, I sat up quickly from the bed one by one, moved quickly, put on my clothes, and began to rush out. I have not forgotten to take all kinds of weapons and wooden sticks in my hands. His eyes were lean and fierce. It's a wake-up call. It seems that something happened again, either the beast attacked the village or some monster was approaching. Zo, let's go, old Zhao, let's go to the city wall together. We are not ordinary people without hands. The current strength can hit 10 of me. Yes, we now have the strength to kill the ferocious beasts. At this time, I dare to hit the village. I will kill one and eat it for breakfast. Eating feral beast meat can increase physical strength and increase cultivation. Those ferocious, the flesh is rich in essence. Someone grinned and showed yellow teeth, his eyes were full of sturdiness. In words, there is no longer too much fear of fierce beasts, but there is a kind of fierce beasts who dare to come, then dare to kill the fierce gas that is directly eaten. This spirit of spirit is that ordinary people simply do not maybe there. This time, in the fight with the fierce beast monster again and again, sharpen the heart. A group of obedient people who grow up in a comfortable environment is completely different from a group of fierce people who fight for survival in fierce beasts. The resulting temperament and temperament are all different. They have experienced the tempering of life and death, blood and fire. Za yi. The spirit, and spirit have changed dramatically. He even took the people from the Yangjiakyun village who had just joined him, and they were all infected. He showed a eager look, felt the confidence of the people around him, and was full of confidence in his heart. He also gave birth to a kind of pride and blood that dared to fight with beasts. Zo, let's go, we can't completely rely on soldiers to guard our lives. The village chief once said that as long as you are not afraid of death, there is nothing terrible about a ferocious beast. It's just a ferocious beast, Lao Su has not been killed. A common man walked fiercely towards the wall. Each one exuded a strong fierce gas, and his face was full of anger. This scene, in the eyes of many villagers who joined later, especially women, showed a kind of curiosity. Big sister, this is not surprising. We in Xuanwang village are not bullying. All the men in the village bring seeds. If they want to marry someone in the future, they will find such men. They will not suffer. They are all good men. Quote, yes, it seems that the sister of the Zhao family has crossed the eyes with Brother Qi, as if it was because in the previous fight with the fierce beast, Brother Qi gave his life to save her. Now, but it's so tired, I see it won't be long before our village has a happy event. Quote, in the village, a large number of women and children also got up, but instead of going to the city walls, they started to make fire and prepare to eat. Some people went directly to the river to fish for piranhas. Although the number of piranhas has begun to decrease sharply, but there are a large number. Kai eat some every day, no problem. I really want to be hard-hearted, so that the piranha can be extinct from the river in the shortest time. In order to drink fish soup every day, no one has done so. It sounded the alarm at this time. Something happened. Quote, in the quiet room, Yi Tianxing, who had been meditating for a night again, suddenly stood up. His eyes flickered, then he was restrained, and the Yongwei pulse in his body had been nurtured almost the same last night. In order to speed up the efficiency, warm nourishment of qi and blood around the body accelerates the speed of warming and strengthening with the true dragon qi condensed in the body. Today, the Yang Weimai has become the same size as the other meridians in the body, and the meridian channels appear as bright as white jade. Inscribed with a mysterious dragon-shaped texture. Let a part of the 12 seriousness be connected and fused together. In this case, it is already possible to start the development of the second strange merits. This practice speed is also quite amazing among practitioners. The ordinary people in the village are mostly in the first state of Shanghai. They warm up their qi a little and increase their qi amount. There are still a lot of fierce beasts to eat, replenish essence and increase the speed of cultivation. Otherwise, the accumulation process will become longer. Most of the generals in the puppet army entered Shanghai. The reason was that they practiced Gongfa very well. They were very suitable for self-cultivation. As long as they continued to kill, the accumulated evil energy could be quickly refined into the body. However, after reaching the second level, if you want to practice quickly, it must not be too fast to impact the 12 seriousness. Moreover, at this level, one's own qualifications, the strength of the battle, will start to distinguish. The host, Cao Zhengchun, has stood outside the door waiting. Go, look at the city walls. Qi Yishanxing nodded his head and had to say that Cao Zhengchun's various actions really made him feel very comfortable and convenient. Cao Zhengchun didn't say much, stood directly behind Yi Tianxing, and walked forward quickly. The response in the village was extremely fast. It was almost as soon as the alarm bell sounded, and the village was like a lion awakening from sleep. A large number of soldiers rushed to the city wall. Yang Yi and his sons were already standing on the city wall. A large number of bows and arrows opened the bows and arrows, facing outward. Their faces were cold, and now it was extremely easy for them to pull the bows. After the monks became fundamentally transformed, their speed and strength had changed. Also, there are a large number of villagers and people on the city wall. I looked fiercely one by one. Big Tiger, it was your turn guard before, what happened? Yi Yixing walked up the city wall and asked. Master, look outside. Wang Dahu pointed outside and said, someone else came here from outside the valley, to see how they look. I'm afraid they have gone through a very horrific journey. Qi Tianxing also glanced towards the outside for the first time. At a glance, he saw that at the entrance to the valley, hundreds of men and women, like refugees, quickly hurried over to Xuanwang village. All of them had wounds on them, dripping with blood. Master, I'm afraid these people have been in trouble before. However, it is also necessary to guard against it. It is the enemy's conspiracy. But people cannot help but I think, first open the door to save them. However, you must let General Wang lead a team. The soldiers will go to the guard, one to guard, and the other to prevent any accidents. They can also respond in the first time. Huang Chengyan's eyes flashed. Shen Sheng suggested. Big Tiger, go down, open the village door and welcome those people in. Yi Yixing nodded and nodded in agreement. Yes, Lord. King Wang Dahu nodded on the spot and agreed. As soon as he waved, a team of soldiers would follow him quickly. It's really a village. Help, help us quickly, there are fierce beasts and monsters behind them. They are going to catch up. We are Han, we are Central Plains, Yanwang bloodline. Suddenly the group of people rushed to the vicinity and saw the tall wooden wall and a fierce soldier on the city wall. His eyes suddenly showed strong hope, rejoicing, and shouting loudly. They can see that this is not a Zongnu, not a foreign race, but a descendant of Yan and Huang like them, is a true same race. Are greater than click. The village door opened quickly, and Wang Dahu and they had already appeared outside. I quickly greeted, fathers and gentlemen of the township, let's say advanced village. When we reach Xuanwang village, it will be safe, and we won't have to worry about it in the future. We have prepared hot water and soup in it. Advanced pressure relief. King Wang Dahu shouted. Great, we are finally safe. Poor girl Belle, why didn't you stick to it? Generals, www.novelhall.com, be careful, there are many beasts chasing after us. When we ran away, we stunned a group of beasts. They will surely chase them now. There are Zongnus, and Zongnus are chasing us. I don't know if they are coming. When a group of people saw them, they burst into tears and burst into tears. Some people even fainted directly to the ground. The moment of rushing was too long. I didn't think before. I can't continue to support them as soon as I relax. Physical strength and spirit have all reached their limits. King Wang Dahu did not hesitate and quickly brought everyone into the village with many soldiers. He immediately closed the village door again. The words, Xuanwang village, exudes a powerful coercion. I seem to have an unyielding manner. Alas, alas. There was a loud roar at the mouth of the valley. The chaotic footsteps were running fast, chasing, and had already passed through the entrance of the valley. He only saw a large number of faceless monsters appearing in sight. Guai Wu, the monsters look quite stubborn. The head looks like a wolf dog and a wolf. At first glance, a fear develops. The jackal seemed to be a fierce monster transformed from a jackal. This is not a pair, but a large number of thousands. The speed of running is amazing. To be continued. Chapter 118, Frosty Knoll. Things are busy these 2 days, and the update time is a bit unstable. Hope forgiveness. Close black lens bracket. These wolfmen are not as thin as they appear, but they are very robust. The bowed back reveals not only a thick layer of mane, but also amazing muscles. The muscles show strength. The explosive power can burst into a powerful brute force in a flash, especially the skull, the large mouth of the blood basin, and the mouth full of fangs. Some, on the arm, also carry a cricket steel claw, which is extremely sharp. When wielding, it can tear anything that is in front of it in an instant. Even if steel is in front of it, it will be cut into pieces. The claw is, with the fist claw on the back of the hand. When you run, you not only stand upright, you may even use both hands and feet directly. That speed is quite fast. In an instant the passage through the valley. Coming into the valley, these wolves were obviously not unwise. Upon entering, Xuanwang village was discovered immediately. Instead of hitting the village blindly, they began to gather quickly. The number of wolves is increasing rapidly. In a blink of an eye, the number reached thousands. Moreover, these wolves know that they are elite at first glance. They must have been hunted and proficient in hunting, and they are also hunting in groups. They are very united and have leaders. Among those robust wolves, several were covered in snow, and the mane on their backs were also snow white. The eyes were all blue eyes, and a frosty air flowed around them. This is an extremely dignified existence among the wolves. Named Frosty Knoll, it has the power of frost. Among the wolves, it is the aristocracy and the king. Once in the wolves, it is the natural leader. Now these wolves are headed by these frost wolves. Even if other wolves see them, they will subconsciously lower their heads, dare not even look directly, for fear of blasphemy. What is this? You can walk upright like a human, and there are weapons on your body, but it looks like a beast, a wolf, and a big mouth. It looks like a bad wolfman. A large number, it seems, is still very tacit, it should be from the same tribe or even a village. Quote, there is such a terrible monster force nearby. We didn't know it before, but they came from outside the valley. I really don't know how many monsters like this exist outside the valley. No wonder how powerful these wolves are, and if you dare to attack the village, then kill them all. We are not vegetarian. What about wolves? If you dare to come over, kill them and feed them mermaids. On the city wall, many people saw the wolves gathered outside, and their eyes suddenly changed, but without showing too much fear, they grinned coldly, and their faces were murderous. Ferocious beasts have been killed, and these wolves, which are similar to humans, have nothing to kill. As long as it is alive, then it can be killed. As long as it will die, there is nothing terrible. The wolf werewolf. This should be from a wolf werewolf tribe. Those people should have shocked the wolf tribe before, so they were chased after. However, the wolf were not provoked for a long time. What a delay, or else, at the speed of those people before, I'm afraid it's impossible to escape the hunt of the wolves. Quote, Yi Tianxing flashed a strange color in his eyes, and then said, it seems that those wolfmen do not plan to withdraw like this, they are afraid to start impacting the village. Huang Chengyan flashed in the eyes, and said flatly, those wolves were eager to try, but they could not hide the eyes of others. General Yang, let the soldiers prepare for the offensive of these wolves at any time. Yi Tianxing nodded and said, please rest assured, today's soldiers, not before, everyone can hit their own 10. Any alien beast, as long as you dare to come, then definitely don't want to leave so easily. Yang Yi exuded a strong self-confidence. The soldiers he brought out were definitely not weaker than anyone. Now that he has a proper cultivation method, everyone has undergone a fundamental transformation. After learning about Xuanwang village, it gave birth to a strong sense of identity to the whole village and guarded the heart. They are willing to guard this place with their lives. In this troubled world, a real paradise has opened up. Woo-woo. The wolves were obviously not planning to stop. The village was surrounded by city walls, and there were not many flaws to find. To get in, you can only break through the city walls and shatter all your defenses. In such cases, there is no need to hesitate at all. Several frosty werewolves howled upward. There was a strong breath in that howl. Woo-woo. A loud howl came out of which jackal population, followed closely, and saw that a large number of jackal were attacking the village directly from the front like a tide. Fast. The speed of these wolves were astonishingly fast, as if wolves were running wild, and they lay their bodies directly on the ground and ran forward with their hands and feet. I can only see the remnants appearing on the ground, and the eyes are green, emitting cruel light. Brush. However, when these wolves were near the village and the city wall, the arrow tower standing behind the city wall first began to show its power. For a moment, 9 crossbow arrows shot out like a heavy rain, and each one was as fast as lightning. Shoot at the most accurate angle, this speed, locked by the crossbow, there is almost no chance to escape. Puff puff. Each energy crossbow pierced a wolf man in an instant, and those wolf men who were moving at a high speed were shot straight down in the air and hit the vital ones. Suddenly, even the bones were under the energy crossbow, and disappeared strangely. 2 arrow towers, in one burst, were 18 crossbow arrows. All of a sudden, 18 wolves were killed instantly. And, immediately afterwards, another burst occurred in the arrow tower, and 9 crossbow arrows shot out from the 2 towers. As fast as lightning, the lives of 18 wolves were taken away again. The arrow tower has been promoted to the 2nd grade of Wangji. The crossbow box of the crossbow in the arrow tower has been transformed and expanded to accommodate 18 crossbow arrows at once. In other words, 18 crossbow arrows can be exploded uninterruptedly in a short period of time. Can also be shot in batches. The destructive power produced by this sudden outbreak is absolutely terrible. In particular, the power of these energy crossbows has reached the level of the 2nd rank of the yellow rank, which is comparable to the full strength of the 2nd ranking monk in the Shanghai realm. Hit. This destructive power is extremely amazing. Even after 2 outbreaks, a crossbow fired from the arrow tower still appears in every breath. Each one will inevitably shoot a null on the spot. Quickly and accurately, they did not insult the name of their strange treasure. Swipe. The number of wolves were extremely large, and the few shot by the arrow towers were nothing at all, and it was even more impossible to deter them, but it even inspired a cruel and fierce atmosphere in the body. Increasingly insane. On the city wall, a famous archer unceremoniously shot the arrow in his hand fiercely toward the null. Gathered together like a terrible arrow rain. Cover a large number of wolves. The power contained in each arrow is very huge, sending a burst of screaming sounds that tear the air in the air. Puff puff. The arrow rain shuttled, and many wolves were shooting arrows on the spot. The sharp arrows penetrated the body. Although there is no way to penetrate the body directly like the arrow tower, they can also get 3 points into the bone. The arrow blew blood. Some were shot directly as hedgehogs, while others were wounded and fell to the ground, making a stern and terrible sound. Let the brutality of the battlefield be rendered instantly. Kill. I'm not afraid of you, let me die, a group of ***** beasts. I'll see you killed. We are not bullying. If we want to eat Lao Tzu's meat, then we must break down your fangs first. On the city wall, many people saw that the jackal had fallen under the city wall, and without hesitation, they started to lift up a large stone that had been prepared and smashed it fiercely below. Each of those stones is extremely heavy, weighing hundreds of pounds. When it is dropped, it exhausts the whole body's strength, making the power contained in the stones even more terrible. If you smash it, you can smash the ground into a deep pit. Alas! A wolf man was hit by a stone, and the bone that was smashed on the spot broke, and he lay directly on the ground, his bones, flesh and blood became instantly blurred. Blood shines. The spine and bones were broken, lying on the ground, and miserable. Don't underestimate the people and launch fiercely, they can also have powerful combat power. This is a national army. Click. Some werewolves fell under the city walls, waved their claws, and chopped them with steel claws towards the city walls. The vines and thorns wrapped around the wooden walls were all cut off and torn, and the wooden walls were damaged. Boom. There are even gnolls bent directly on the ground and kicked. Reading www. Uakanshu.com's horrible bouncing force makes their bodies almost jump directly to the city walls, even if there is a distance, not too far away, and they have a 2/3 height in one jump. The sharp claws were inserted directly into the city wall, hung their bodies on the city wall, and quickly climbed up. Kill. Some soldiers waved their spears directly and stabbed at the wolves crawling on the city wall. Each shot was straightened out and stabbed at the key at the first time. But the wolves were also fierce, holding one hand on the wall, one hand, waving steel claws, and slashing directly at the spear. The sharp steel claws cut the spear into 2 sections at once. In this valley, there are Han villages still fighting fiercely with monsters. At the entrance of the valley, the Huns scouted after them. As soon as they entered the valley, they immediately discovered that there was a fierce fighting in the valley. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 119, Fate. Post readers, interested ones can be added. 477-12342 VIP group. These Huns came along the trail of those humans along the way. Of course, in the process, they also paid a small price. If most of the fierce beasts were attracted to chase the humans in front, the cost would be even greater. On the way, they would chase the valley in front of them unknowingly. Also see the fierce killing in the valley. They are almost all archers, and their eyes are very striking. They can be seen at a glance. The people standing on the city wall are all of the Central Plains. They are Han people. They knew immediately that this is a village built by the Han people. Moreover, the scale is not small. It seems that the slaves have fled into this village. The situation in our military camp will definitely be leaked by these slaves, and they will soon know about us. While they are fighting with these gnolls, we will rush back to the military camp immediately. Report to Zuo Shanwang. Moreover, I found that this valley seems to be very similar to the valley we were looking for when Zuo Shanwang originally explained. No accident, it should be here. As long as we bring the news back, we will all be brilliant. A few Huns looked at each other, immediately turned back, left the valley, and returned at the fastest speed towards the road they were coming from. The news is too big, but they know that King Zuo Xian has been looking for a valley, and the valley in front of him seems very similar to what Zuo Shanwang is looking for. They both saw intense excitement in each other's eyes. According to the description of King Zuo Xian, this valley is the ideal home for them to reproduce and graze grasslands. As long as they can occupy this valley, the Xiongnu people will have a foundation and can multiply and grow, and they can be passed down from generation to generation. Become the most powerful race in the world. It's an alien. Although the Xiongnu quickly retreated as soon as they appeared, Yi Tianxing was still caught in that eye. From their clothes and even their looks, they clearly showed that those were aliens, at least not the yellow blood. The appearance of aliens here is not so simple. That means that there may be an alien force, a village, or something else nearby. But no matter what, it's not a good thing. The aliens have always been dominated by enemies. However, now is not the time to investigate these. The group of jackal talents in front of them is the most critical. These wolves were battle-hardened one by one. The sharp claws were inserted directly into the city walls. One hand could also use the steel claws to directly fight against the soldiers on the city walls. Also, use both hands and feet to climb up quickly. The fierce eyes were trembling. Puff puff. On the wall, some soldiers saw the spear cut off, and decisively took the cut spear as a flying spear, and flew out of their arms. Flying spear, in a short distance, as long as the power is sufficient, the power is greater than the battle arrow. When practicing marksmanship, I will try to train flying spear skills. Even those wolves did not expect that after cutting the lances, these lances would directly become a flying spear, which instantly bombarded the body and climbed on the city wall, leaving less room for dodge. On the spot, many wolfmen were penetrated by flying spears and smashed down towards the ground. Even if they were not dead under flying spears, they would break their bones. Boom! A jackal werewolf tore a hole directly from the city wall, followed the gap, and stormed into the village fiercely. Give me death! But greeted by a cold knife light, the knife light flashed, a strong wolf man was instantly whole body, flesh and bones were separated and decomposed on the spot. Forcibly dismember. The knife is superb, like lightning. With one stroke, the flesh is broken down naturally. Lai Hejung stood with a grimace near the gap. The swordman who penetrated the bone marrow made him lethal in an instant, which was quite amazing and overbearing. Boom! A team of soldiers will quickly appear before the gap under the leadership of Yang Yanping. Yi Sengkai stood directly in front of the gap, stepped on the ground, and immediately stood out. A strong evil spirit broke out, immovable like a mountain. Just one gnoll rushed out of the gap. Thorn! Yang Yanping broke his mouth and spit out a voice. The soldiers facing the werewolf faced forward without any hesitation. In the gun, there was a flash of cold mang, and the huge speed let the air under the gun tear. The wolf man apparently did not expect that after breaking through the city wall, he would face a row of cold lances, but the response was equally amazing. He waved his claws and cut the lances directly. There are too many lances pierced at the same time. Even if it was cut off, there was still no way to cut it all, and a spear pierced directly into the body the next second. The wolf were pierced through the blood caves. Go forward, rotate, spear gun break, change the gun immediately. There are spare lances in the hands of the soldiers. This lance is nothing else. It is just sharpened moso bamboos. These moso bamboos are also sharp. Once they are pierced into the body, blood will flow out quickly along the holes. The slotted dagger capital is terrible. Puff puff. The number of wolves who rushed out of the gap kept increasing. But the first thing they faced was always the gunman led by Yang Yanping. Raise the gun and stab. Close the gun, rotate, change the gun. Triangle formations are formed by the 3 talent formations. The 3 teams of pikemen, once the guns are fired, immediately begin to rotate, giving the position facing the gap to others, and begin to change guns at the fastest speed. They have injuries. Retreat instantly. Give every soldier enough time to respond. Such a military formation, obviously they have exercised many times before, and now they are very skilled in dealing with it. When they are shooting, they are resolutely refining and firing. Woo! On the battlefield, the frosty werewolves, ice blue eyes were watching the battlefield slaughter, and they saw that there were already wolves who had ripped the gap from the wall, and immediately they began to growl. Began to attack towards the village. Their raids looked terrible, shocking. On the ground under their feet, ice crystals directly formed, a cold air, condensed into a layer of ice mist, they ran on the glacier and snow. Covered with a layer of crystal ice armor, covering the whole body. There was a layer of cold light. They were approaching the city walls quickly. Ding! An archer's battle arrow shot on the frost knoll, blocked by ice armor, and gave a clear sound directly. The battle arrow could not break the ice armor at all, and forcibly burst out under a force. Ice armor's defense is very amazing. Even these archers who have become monks and reached the level of Shanhai are unable to penetrate and tear. Animals, dare to be mad, be mad. Huang Chengyan suddenly took a step forward, a flash of righteousness flashed in his eyes, and he opened his mouth to stop drinking. Huh! In a clear sound, I only saw that from Huang Chengyan's mouth, a white light suddenly shot out, the white light appeared, the sound of a stern sword screamed, cut through the sky, and when a frosted werewolf appeared under the city wall, it struck lightning. Go on. Woo-woo. The frost knoll felt a dangerous gas machine like death, without thinking about it. With a wave of his hand, a crystal ice blade appeared in front of him, and quickly greeted him towards the white light. However, when the ice blade collided with white light, it was almost cut into 2 halves, and it was split open, revealing the white light. It was an ancient white sword, still fiercely chopped on the frosty werewolf. Under the ancient sword, although the ice armor was amazing in defense, it was forcibly cut in front of the sword of the ancient sword, and the ancient sword was cut in the head. Immediately dissipated in midair. Click! The head of the werewolf fell down, smashed to the ground, and his neck was sprayed with blood. Kill with one sword, Fate Tongue Sword. This is the top destiny for practicing Confucianism and Taoism to have a chance to awaken. The lip gun is almost the same order as the lip gun of Ming Chao. The magical power it gave birth to is very overbearing. It is a Confucian Taoist Ming Chao specially created for killing. In the eyes of ordinary people, Confucianism is killing people without seeing blood. Confucianism kills people with only one mouth, and kills them with words. www.novelhall.com. It is extremely fierce, and it has become a life-saving magical power and more overbearing. The more Confucian and Taoist people are, the more powerful they are. The sword just now is enough to see how terrible the power of Huang Chengyan is. Not only does he split the ice blade, cut the ice armor, but also instantly cut off the head of the frost wolverine. Really seeing the sword, it's a powerful and overbearing sword light, and the ancient sword is sprayed out. This is the key to Confucianism, the tongue sword. Although Huang Lao practiced the record of the heart of the blue blood, he turned a talented Confucianism into a cultivation, but he definitely did not. It may be beyond the sea of Shanhai. This destiny is the destiny of his awakening. With this destiny and magic power, his strength is already the highest level in the village. I'm afraid I can't compete. Quote. Yi Tianxing saw that his pupils contracted for a while. Instantly a thought came to mind. He has read Blood Dengsenlu, knowing some Confucian and Taoist fate, tongue sword is one of them. Once the tongue and sword are condensed, then Confucianism will have a strong combat power. No less than other monks. Kill. Yi Tianxing didn't think much, looked directly at the other frosty knoll, and uttered a killing sound. In the killing sound, the eyes instantly turned black and white. A black and white bizarre pair of scissors appeared in midair. Congenital yin and yang eyes yin-yang cut. As soon as the yin and yang scissors appeared, they immediately turned into two black and white giant pythons, which instantly cut through the sky, and flung to the frosted werewolf in one fell swoop. Woo-woo! Seeing the black and white python that cut through the sky, the frost wolf werewolf felt a strong crisis in his heart. The ice armor began to glow with radiance, and an ice blade was chopped down toward the black and white python. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 120, Kai Yan. First Order, Recommended Collection. Close black lens bracket. Click. The black and white python crosses the sky, and the scales on the body are clearly visible, shining with a layer of crystalline light, one to the sun, the other to the yin, the interlaced, the yin and yang collide, and instantly cut through everything. The ice blade fell on the black and white python, and was directly crushed by a mighty force, leaving no residue. Cut it over like bamboo. In a crisp sound, ice armor is broken. The frosted werewolf wrapped in ice armor was cut off along the waist, and his body fell directly to the ground. Blood spewed out and stained the ground. Woo-woo! The remaining two frost wolves were watching, and the body that had rushed over stopped instantly, exploded backwards, and made a scream of howl. In the cry, the wolfman who had previously shouted and slammed into the village started to retreat, ran backwards, and fled quickly. Leave the village and the city walls. Quickly gathered towards the two frosted wolves. Thousands of wolves were gathered, leaving less than 1,000. A large number of wolves were scattered around the city walls, lingering in the air, unusually pungent, and a kind of thick evil spirit pervaded the battlefield. These, just in a short period of slaughter, have been so tragic. There are thousands of dead and injured monsters. This is the real battlefield, a meeting, either you die or I die. No luck at all. The combat power of Xuanwang village, after the joining of Yang Jiazhen and the masses of monks in the village, has undergone a fundamental transformation, which has skyrocketed to an astonishing point, especially the villagers, all of whom have blood. Everyone is not afraid of death. When defending together, the power produced is extremely amazing. If it were before, as long as this group of wolves hit the village, the entire village will suffer heavy losses as a result, and it is definitely two completely different situations now. The two frosted werewolves glanced at Xuanwang village with a kind of hatred and looked at Yi Tianxing and others standing on the city wall. The hatred can be almost witnessed. Just see it and you can feel it. Obviously, I have thoroughly hated Xuanwang village. There is absolutely no intention to just give up. This group of wolf cubs is not so easy to give up. This time we have killed so many wolves, we must have hated our Xuanwang village, the protagonist, Yang Yi, please, and brought a group of soldiers to hunt down. Even if we cannot stay all, let them die another 70%. Quote. Yang Yi's eyes glared. These wolfmen are the same as the wolf tribe, and they are very vengeful in their bones. With the current strength of Xuanwang village, these wolfmen may not be completely left behind. Yang Yi has just joined Xuanwang village and wants to contribute to the village. General Yang, it is not appropriate to go out to fight in the village at this moment. Huang Chengyan opened up and blocked. These wolves are amazingly fast, and their attack power is very powerful. Each head is comparable to the first monk in Shanghai. We used to rely on the convenience of the wooden wall, coupled with the coordinated defense of the people in the village, and the suppression together can make the wolfman suffer heavy losses in this short period of time. Quote. If you go out and fight, there is no geographical advantage, and you will face the wolves directly. Even if the generals are experienced in combat, you will have great damage if you destroy them. This is not worth the money. The life of every soldier is precious. Quote. As far as Huang Chengyan's money is concerned, and actually point out that doing so, it is indeed worth the money. Nowadays, every citizen and every soldier in the village is constantly growing, and their cultivation is increasing rapidly. This is a process of rapid strengthening. Every day is growing, this process is not over, and everyone has considerable room for growth. In the process, any death is an intangible loss to the village. Of course, if someone comes to the door, it must be a counterattack with the hardest fist. Well, General Yang, Huang Lao is right. The strength of the wolves is still not to be pursued hurriedly, unless our strength can be completely crushed, otherwise, relying on the ground is the best means. You can only have alive all. Yi Tianxing nodded in agreement. This is also his idea. If not, he would hunt out before. The most important thing is that he saw the Zongnu figure before. Those aliens had already cast a shadow in his heart. If this alien force really exists nearby, the power in the village will not be damaged much. In such a world, aliens are afraid to be even more brutal than before. Of course, if they come to the door, Yi Tianxing will surely let them know that their ferocity will usher in their own destruction. Xuanwang Village, not everyone can insult. The protagonist and Huang Lao were right. It was Yang Yi who thought a little bit wrongly. Yang Yi heard it, and was stunned in his heart, and then said, "Humbly accept. Now, unlike ever, every soldier is more valuable than ever. General Yang is also good for the village. There is nothing right or wrong." Yi Tianxing said with a smile. However, General Yang needs to be responsible for cleaning the battlefield and converging the corpses of the sergeant and the common people. For the village war dead, they are heroes. Yes, Lord, Yang Yi nodded and agreed. Walk, Lao Huang, let's go and see the people who have fled here and find out what happened. I saw an alien figure at the mouth of the valley before. Yi Tianxing said with a dignified look. Well, I also saw that those people seemed to be dressed as Huns. Huang Chengyan nodded and said. Huang Lao still remembers that you have said before that there is an army near our valley. Will it be that army is the army of the Huns? Yi Tianxing said after a slight groan. What you said before was never forgotten. An army really needs to appear, and its strength is enough to cause a huge impact. This is still not the case. If the entire army is training and it has become a monk, the threat it brings is not so simple. The entire Xuanwang village will be in an extreme danger. Master, you are here. Came down and found the group of people who had fled in. These people, under the leadership of Wang Dahu, in the village, simply groomed, were carrying steaming fish soup, and drank in large mouths. I don't know how many days I didn't eat in the full belly, the heat was finally flowing. Especially after escaping for one night, suffering from horror and suffering from hunger, a bowl of fish soup went down, and the whole talent finally felt a little spirit. Hundreds of people gathered, male and female. Hearing the words of Wang Dahu, they all looked over and fell on Yi Tianxing. Many people's eyes appeared with surprise. Obviously, the owner of this village would not be so young. What's more, you can't easily forget it at a glance. Uncle Huang. Just then, there was a shout of doubt in the crowd. Looking along the sound, I only saw that there was a good body standing in the crowd, although it was thick linen, but I could not blink in a delicate shape, but my face looked very messy and looked like a dirty girl, people can't bear to look directly. But the sound was crisp and sweet, with a scent of books. You are. Huang Chengyan heard that. Looking subconsciously, looking at the figure in front of him, he felt a little familiarity, but his face was dirty, and he could not see the fire eyes. However, I can feel a little familiar. Secretly guess, is it really someone you know? Moreover, everyone is coming to this world, because a lot of selves will merge, their appearance will change slightly. Even the arts will change. My niece is like this now, my uncle must not recognize it. The woman also seemed to know that she was so dirty now that no one could recognize it. Hot water over here, Yi Tianxing said. The woman with a key hurriedly brought a plate of warm water. The woman stepped forward to clean her face with warm water and sorted out her appearance. Wipe dry with a handkerchief. This raised his head. This look up, with a few drops of water on the brow tip, really like water hibiscus. That look has an indescribable classic and elegant temperament. The eyes are very agile, full of a kind of spiritual color, www.novelhall.com, like the lady who came out of the painting. In particular, the unique temperament of the talented woman on her body is outstanding among the women. Women are talented and naturally have a unique virtue. This virtue is reflected in behavior and in words and deeds. That feeling is quite subtle and quite different. There are such women in the world. At the moment I saw it, even Yi Tianxing emerged an unprecedented feeling that the heart could not help beating. This feeling, even in the face of Tang Zidong, Chen Shiru did not. Even though their looks are comparable, the feeling cannot be described by words. Are you Wen Ji? When Huang Chengyan saw it, his face was surprised, and he asked quickly. Even he was a little dare not be sure. But we can see the 3-point past temperament and appearance. It's hard to change. It's Wen Ji. Wen Ji has met Uncle Huang. The woman put her hands on her lower abdomen, bowed slightly, her voice clear and airy. Unspeakable comfort. How could you be here? How could you be forced to flee, and make yourself look like that? And your brother-in-law and brother-in-law. After confirming Huang Chengyan, He immediately stepped forward, looked closely, and quickly asked, a look of concern on his face. "Where is my dad?" Wenji also didn't know. "I was caught by the Huns while I was getting married. However, the world changed a lot later, and some strange changes seemed to happen to me. But I still came along with the Huns in this world." Kai Wenji said. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis.